How are we gonna start this off?
Well, it's you, my buddy. You gotta do
I
your.
don't
You gotta do your little.
wanna.
You don't want to do
Whatever.
the intro?
Fine if I have to.
Are you shy?
When
No, I just can't
die?
remember a damn thing.
Well then,
When does he die? It's funny.
welcome everybody to the Two
Alright.
Tired Dudes podcast. It is Fundead's turn this week,
No, you're not allowed to be welcome.
and well, you said you were scared too, so I'm doing it for you then, you sucker.
No, you're not allowed to be welcome.
This is our special Valentine's Day episode. It's not really anything to do with Valentine's Day.
Alright. Actually, well, I mean, kinda. It can.
That's totally up to you, dude. You're in control. But we do have our weekly catch up, so go ahead and get that ball rolling.
I do want to say Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Even though, me personally, I don't exactly enjoy Valentine's Day, simply because I don't have any money to buy a fiance anything, but that's okay. But for everybody that is enjoying the Valentine's Day situations, I hope y'all are enjoying the day and enjoying your night. And if you are making anything special for your significant other, put it in the comments, because tonight's topic is about food. So
I was gonna
it is
say, my
always
dude,
fun.
you also have a wedding coming up, so I mean that's one hell of an expense on its own. That's like
Her dress
top
alone
top
is
tier
$1,000.
gift right there.
Her dress alone is $1,000. So
That's crazy.
and that's without the alterations and stuff like that.
Goddamn.
Well, yeah, plus hair and makeup. I'm sure she'll get that all done too.
Oh yeah, of course. You know how it's supposed to go.
Don't forget the nails done as well.
Yeah, nails.
Oh, I doubt that's gonna get done.
But it's like, okay, everyone, stop now.
What?
I don't want to think about this.
Yeah, it's like I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But like I said, the topic for tonight is about food. So if you would like, please put in whatever you are making or stuff of the sort inside the comments via YouTube or the live chat or in Discord even. But getting on with the actual podcast itself, let's go ahead and do the catch up. As of right now, let's go ahead and start with Sleepy. How was your week?
It was good. Watched a live action of an anime yesterday, actually. It's a really old anime. I forgot the full name of it, but it's called Kenshin, and it's basically about a samurai, right? He fought in the whole war, and then he swore that he would never kill again. So this is his whole story, which is really interesting, because I've seen the anime multiple times. So seeing the live action of the background of the actual war, and then him currently, and at the end I have to watch the final. But it was pretty interesting. They semi followed the anime. It's 2.5 hours long. So that was fun watching it at work. It was great.
You watched it at work?
I was watching it at work.
Hey, whatever works, right?
I actually am in Zoom for my college classes at work, so that's always pretty interesting. So I have my laptop with me constantly, and then I have work tea. I don't know if you guys want to hear about that, but it happened today. Actually.
Ooh.
Yeah, you share whatever you want.
Hi, this guy came in. He was like, "Hey," asked about the haircut stuff like that. He's like, okay, I'll be back later. I'm working right now. And he tried to drop off some stuff, right? We're a business, and they're like, oh, the person's not coming, get a haircut at 4:30, and then they had like wine, right? And then they're like, the delivery guy was like, can I check your ID? Because I don't look 23, apparently. Asian genes. If you know, you know. And then I thought it was pretty weird. So I was about to tell him, what, probably is not a good idea. And then my mom came in. His car almost hit my mom's car because he didn't put on his emergency brakes on. So just that, and my mom came in and she was like, "You need to move your car," stuff like that. It's like, "Oh, he's like, I'm making a delivery." Anyway, it escalated from there because my mom's like, "This is not a business. This is a business, not the somewhere to put your delivery." And they're like, "Oh, but this person said this," and then my mom's like, "If you're not getting a haircut, please leave, respectfully." And then he wouldn't leave, and then he called my mom basically an apple and bitch and stuff like that. And then we were slow today, and then he's like, "No, one of you guys are not doing business." And I was like, "What?" I was ready. I was like, "I'm not ready. I'm ready to fight a grown ass man." He's like 5'11". A little bit on the heavier side. I'm
fighting word.
I'm 5'4". So there's that. And then he came back twice, and then my mom's like, "I don't feel safe." So we got the whole cop involved, and it's just crazy. Anyways, that's a little worky. That's how I started my Valentine's morning.
What a dink! Holy crap!
I didn't know, and it's just And then my mom's like, I don't feel like interacting with humans today. That kind of threw off my whole vibe. I don't want to deal with humans. I don't want to deal with people today. And I was like, you know what, Mom? Me too. That's a whole vibe. And my mom made a joke, actually. She's like, "But don't you stream?" I'm like, "And?" She's like, "You're constantly dealing with people all the time." I'm like, work and streaming are two totally different things. You stream because you want to stream. It's not, and it's online. So why not?
Yeah, those two things are completely different animals.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was explaining to her. And then she was like, "Okay, whatever." So we close around 2, and then we're on the topic of food. My mom's actually making homemade lasagna, which is great. I'm excited. So I kind of just want to pick up my boyfriend, and now we're heading back to my house and, dealing with people's stupid driving. So, yeah.
Got it. So if you just disappear, we know it's because of your mom's lasagna.
If I disappear, it's more like I have. So, and then after we eat with my mom and my stepdad and my little dog, we're gonna actually go eat with his family at Olive Garden. So food, definitely food coma. Definitely gonna hit tonight. But yeah, I also hope everyone's having a good Valentine's. I hope everyone has having positive vibes. And and just enjoy your day. Tell your significant other or your loved one, remind them you love them and show them how special they are no matter what. And yeah, that's all I have. I don't know what else to say. Fundead, your turn. Mindful, your turn.
Nah, it's Mindful's turn since he does this to me all the time. So go ahead, Mindful. Go on.
Hell yeah. Okay, so TV show wise, I continued with The Good Place. I'll probably be on that series for a while because it's 4 seasons. How can I say this? Like, if you haven't watched it, again, please watch it. Season 1 will rock your world. Season 2, kind of a little bit of a letdown to start, but it's getting good now. Excited to see how it's going to play out. All the characters are still fantastic. I love them all. There's yeah, I don't want to spoil too much. There's characters in there that I'm rooting for, and like it's working out. So it's like, yeah, buddy. Um, yeah, video game wise, I did a whole bunch of Vampire Survivors because for some reason I've been addicted. Sorry, I've been craving that game again. Um, it's so good. It's so good. Like shit. It's so easy, but it's so good. I think I got, I don't know where it was, 15 different achievements done already. I can't figure out how to beat death yet.
Ooh.
That's the next thing I have to start focusing on. Apparently you can beat death, but yeah, I haven't come across that yet. And then from Star Wars, I went to Red Dead Redemption 2, so that's gonna be the next game I'm gonna try to beat this year. Like I said last time, I'm trying to beat at least 5 games this year. And yeah, Red Dead 2 is just a fantastic time. Like it's so good. I completely forget how bonkers Rockstar is when it comes to quests. Like there was one I did last week where the shopkeeper had this basement, and you wouldn't know there was a quest until you walk to the, I guess, cellar or basement's window, and this kid's like yelling like, help me, he's got me hostage," right? So anyway, you go to the shopkeeper, you question him, and then he's got him fucking locked up downstairs in his like son's outfit because his son like died or something in like a terrible lake accident and he can't cope with it, so he just kidnapped this guy and made him into his son. And then yeah, apparently
Are you
that's
talking about the first one or the second one?
second one, Red Dead 2.
Oh, yeah. I was like, hey, I know that mission.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was really good. And I also did the circus one. That one's really funny. The guy basically loses a zebra, a lion, and a tiger, and like in the beginning, it kind of tricks you. So the zebra is like, you know, a horse with painted stripes. The tiger is like a dog with a mane around it. So by then you assume the lion's gonna be something ridiculous, but then the lion's actually real. That was pretty funny. And then yeah, and then oh yeah, even like something simple like there's a fishing mission, and it's so good. Like I was literally laughing my ass off listening to Dutch, Arthur, and there's an older guy. I can't remember his name now, but they were just shooting the shit. They were just talking about old times, and it was like, this is good. Like they're so good with dialogue. Like I love Rockstar for that. Yeah, that's pretty much been it. It's probably gonna be a Red Dead 2 for a while. It's so much fun. Oh, and I once again saved the guy that got bit by a snake. I'm guessing he's gonna be like a recurring thing because like I saved in my first, I don't know, couple hours playing, and then down the road I'm in a different part of the map and I find him again. And even Arthur, like your main character, he's like, "You again? Like you got bit again?" Yeah, that's been my little adventure this week. What about you, Mr. Fundead?
Well, my little adventure starts off with work. And more work. And more work. I have barely been on the Xbox. Yesterday was the first time I actually got on the Xbox and played a game for a little bit.
See, I was ready for you this week, buddy. I was ready. I was thinking about it all week long. I was like, you know, every time he's on here, he says he does nothing. So you're telling me after work, you go home, you just sit in front of that kitchen table, look right at your fiance, and you guys do nothing? No watching, no TV shows, no video games?
Damn near, yeah.
I was like, he's not going to say nothing this week.
Okay. Okay. Let's get this straight. So, we did start watching a new show.
Nice.
So, it's a Korean pop, or a Korean drama. And I can't remember the damn name of it. It's called Business Proposal. It's on Netflix. And I didn't get to watch the first episode, but I got to watch the second episode in the middle of it. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, this is the dumbest thing I have ever watched. No, I'm going to keep watching it. I'm going to give it a chance. So I continue to watch it, and I just continuously find it dumb. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm stuck watching it now. I'm too into it, even though it's stupid. I'm gonna keep watching it. And like on the fourth episode, got to the point where it actually started to get okay, and then it started to get good, and then I got into it, and then I started like cheering. I'm like, okay, it ain't bad. So now we're looking at others that like it. I'm just like, that might be okay. That one looks kind of cute. So we watched that show.
Follow
That's
down
pretty
the
much.
K-drama rabbit hole, eh?
Oh yeah, we fell down there pretty hard.
There's some pretty good
Yeah.
ones.
And
Sweet Home's not a bad one, if you get a chance to.
um, there has. I also started watching a webtoon anime because it finally became available for me to watch it finally, and it's called Lookism. If you've ever read the webtoon, it's actually really cool. It's a really cool concept.
Like, what's it about, Fundead?
Pretty much. So it's about this guy that is getting bullied all the time at school and just going through a bunch of stuff. Like his home life is good. Like he's living a poor life, but he's living a good life. Good enough to where you don't want to just quit. But he's getting bullied because of his weight, because he's overweight. Well, a little later down the line, his mother's at school to talk about a transfer because he asked for a transfer. And whenever he actually, like, whenever she's there, she sees him getting bullied. And after that, he gets the transfer because she tells him, go ahead and do the transfer, go where you need to go. So he goes to a completely different city, and on his first day, he pretty much gets punched in the face because he's getting too cocky and everything else like that. And then later that night, he goes to bed, and he wakes up in the middle of the night, but he's not in the same body. He is in a fit body that is handsome, has a good voice and everything. Like it's better than what he is at that moment.
It's pretty cool. Is that just on YouTube?
And that's all I'm going to give. No, it's on Netflix.
Oh, Netflix. Oh, okay, sorry.
Yep. And it's also on Webtoon, which I highly recommend reading Webtoon because it goes into depth more. It's quite a fun read. I enjoy it.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good one, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be fantastic, but it was actually really fucking good. It was really good.
And sorry, Fundead, what game did you end up playing a little bit of?
I'm sorry?
I said, what game did you end up playing a little bit of? You were about to say earlier that you played a little.
Arc Evolved.
Oh, okay. I thought you'd be back into Forza. You were playing that one for a while.
No, I'm playing Arc.
Okay. Is it because the second
Playing
one's
with
coming
the
out?
lizards.
Or?
I'm sorry?
I said, is it because the second one's coming out?
No, I just got in the mood to play with dinosaurs again.
Fair enough. That's a great game, but every time I frickin' play it, it's the same experience. I spawn in, I die. I spawn in, someone kills me. Like, it's so ridiculous.
So, I've gotten really good at messing with settings inside of games, so I make it a little more enjoyable, but yet still difficult for certain things.
Oh, okay.
There she goes, to eat that lasagna.
So what do you
But
change in your settings?
everything.
Everything.
I go from the basics and then I go into advanced settings. So therefore, I move all the dials, change everything, make it to where it's still playable and still takes me a little bit, but it's easier to get things done.
Okay. Yeah, I always wanted to get into that game because it looks like a lot of fun. And I'm with you, buddy. I love dinosaurs. That's just a bonus.
It's really enjoyable whenever you figure out how to actually
Play the game.
do certain things and mess with the settings and make it to where it's a little easier and more enjoyable to play. But until then, it's kind of aggravating to a certain extent. So I do understand some of the issues with some people that they're trying to play the game, because sometimes it's really difficult to actually try to figure out all the settings and stuff.
Well, my friend at work brought up to me that there's going to be a sequel. I was actually kind of shocked. I didn't think that would be a sequel kind of game. I thought they would just keep going with it and keep adding.
And keep adding to it, yeah. That's
Yeah.
what we all were thinking. And then after a while, it actually got to the point where they're like, hey, Art 2's coming out. Huh? What? There's an Art 2 coming out?
Exactly.
Why? Isn't the first one good enough for you guys?
It's like when Overwatch 2 was announced, it was like, really?
And at the moment, I'm playing on the desert map, because I am actually playing it right now.
Oh, are you? Oh, nice.
And I am. I have 3 wolves tamed. A lizard that moves way too fast for its own good. A moth. An alligator. And it's everything. And my moth keeps just flying over me. It's starting to irritate me.
I don't know if you feel...
Oh, I must have died here at some point.
I don't know if you feel the same way or not, but I feel like Mom would be really good at that game. I could see her like,
So she's actually tried it, and she told me that she doesn't like it.
Wow. I was gonna say I could see her over a weekend just like having this massive fortress.
See, yeah, there is actually a creative mode in this game to where you can just continuously build.
Yep.
I just can't remember how you get to it. You need to actually play the game, honey. You need to learn the mechanics first. Because whenever I first got into it and did the creative, I was lost. I had no idea what I was doing. But now that I'm relearning the controls, it's a little easier for me now. I am fast.
I think I'm remembering correctly.
Everybody else is super slow.
As I said, I think I'm remembering correctly. Your fiance was playing Call of Duty last time, right? Is she still enjoying it?
Yes. Well, let me ask her. Are you still enjoying Call of Duty?
Is it like multiplayer she's doing, or is she going through the story mode?
And she's like, it's not any different than any other Call of Duty, which is true. I had a murder bird at some point. I just don't know where that boil went. Oh, I'm picking you up. You're driving me nuts. So, I have a... Oh... I have a Mastix, which is just like a little lizard that runs and steals food and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And its movement speed, I'm even leveling up that now, is at 1200.
Holy moly.
%.
How do you level up the lizard?
So, you just go into their inventory. Oh god, I'm hungry. Huahan. You just go into the inventory and go through their settings.
Oh, okay. I was curious.
And I don't exactly have to touch anything either, because all of their damage is pretty high. Bring it on! Come on and attack me. You'll see why you don't exactly mess with the whole pack of lizards. Oh, they're fighting bugs. Fantastic! Get out of the tree.
Yeah, I don't know if I was telling you about that game. He's like,
was that a yellow kangaroo?
ooh.
That is a yellow kangaroo. Oh, that's a black wolf. Alright, black. Oh, okay. But once you actually get into the settings and actually go in depth with the game, it can turn pretty easy. I found him! Hello! I died and you disappeared! How much has this thing leveled up? 12? 12 times?
Well, that's not bad.
Lovely. I'm just
Pretty
gonna
quick.
get it. I don't want it to die. But now its health is... Compared to its health now, it's low, simply because it has 1,400 health. Sorry, 14,000 health.
That's pretty good for a lizard.
I can't read that far. Nope, it's a murder bird.
Oh, murder bird,
Found my
sorry.
murder bird again. That's an oil bug. But if you ever do get the chance, I recommend playing it for a little bit. Simply because it is actually quite fun.
Yeah, I'll give it a go again. That might be a fun one too for community night. I wonder if it'd work out well that way.
It would be, well, so for the community night idea for that, it can be a little difficult for it to happen simply because a lot of the situations that you have, it's more of a dedicated server kind of thing for that idea.
Okay.
And you would need to, I can't remember if the dedicated server you need to pay for or if it's free. I can't remember. But with servers and everything, the game still runs even if you're offline. So therefore, if we do that and we tame anything, right? If that thing doesn't have food for quite a while for that person's tame, that tame can die.
Oh, okay. So you have to go in there almost every day then.
Yep. The game is pretty much a check-in. If you want to, you can get off, but I've played on a few servers, and most of them aren't very fun to play on, simply because people make it more difficult than it needs to be.
I was gonna say, yeah, people are probably pretty strict.
It's not even just because they're strict. It's more the fact that they mess with the settings the wrong way and make the game more difficult than it needs to be.
Oh, okay.
So most of the time it's like, oh, you think the difficulty is set to like 1? No, we cranked it up to 15. What are those? Oh, they're hyenas. Let's go ahead and whistle passive. I'm probably about to tame a hyena or two.
Nice,
Good idea to me.
nice.
Oh god, don't jump off the cliff.
I forgot to say too.
There's a pink one. I want the pink one.
On Monday, I can only do a quick stream Monday because I was pretty exhausted, but got 3 freaking wins in Dead by Daylight, buddy. Yeah, that's pretty rare.
Oh, so I don't play Dead by Daylight
I
whatsoever.
know. That's not your cup
I
of
cannot
tea.
stand the game.
Who was a
Oh,
cat trooper
Scorpion.
last time shouted out Overwatch 2. We could always try that one as well for community night.
I yeah, I don't know how that would work per se, but
Well, it's cross-platform, so same way Fortnite would work, I guess.
maybe it could be. Yeah. It could be like a okay, so it could be just one team at team. I don't know how that. I've never done Overwatch before, so
No, neither have I. It'd be my first experience. But I just put it on the
yep,
list,
same
right?
with me.
Like I said, if anyone has
Yeah, oh sure.
any ideas or whatever, we could always try them out, see what happens.
I would be down to see some ideas. That's a pig. That's a few pigs.
I'm
Please don't attack
actually
me.
pretty excited for
You are okay.
the Minecraft week because I would love to play Minecraft and just kind of understand that game a little more. I feel like I really missed out not playing that game. I at least want to do like the main quest or whatever it's supposed to be, where you was it the Ender Dragon or whatever the final boss is.
Yeah.
Just want to do that, just to say I played Minecraft to the end.
I will be right back.
No worries, buddy.
While we're waiting,
Yes.
go ahead and think about that one food item that you would want to like have made for you every day.
That's cute.
And it can be from a video game, from an anime, from a TV show. I am back.
Hey. So yeah, I was just saying it's totally
What I miss?
it's well, I'll just talk about Vampire Survivors. I finally got a whatchamacallit, Gold Fever. I didn't have that one pop up yet.
Oh well.
Yeah. Every
There
enemy
you go.
killed just turned into a bunch of random coins.
Sounds about right.
Alright, so yeah, so for me, buddy, it's totally chicken wings, like I was saying to you. I
What?
don't even have to think about it. Like I could eat fucking chicken wings every day of the goddamn week. It comes in such a variety of flavors. Like,
Chicken wings?
but think of all the flavors you can have. Like, it's just a damn good time.
But chicken wings?
Like straight up chicken wings. Give me those drums. Give me those wings. Give me them. Oh, fill that plate up. I love chicken wings. There's a pizza place we have, and China used to go ham with it back in the day. And we would buy like 30 wings because it was such a ridiculously cheap deal for them. But they were good. They were good wings for that price. If it wasn't that,
Do we have anybody else come like getting on?
maybe it's usually random throughout the night. I'll check Discord, but yeah, see, Pizza's gonna join on eventually.
Hey.
It's just always like random.
Well, I mean, I can go ahead and go if you want.
Love to hear your thoughts. Hey, you're the host, dude. You could take over the whole show.
I'd rather not take over the whole show, but
You
I mean,
can commandeer that shit.
so for me, what I would do, or what I would go for, I guess, would probably be bento boxes. I don't care if it's chicken, I don't care if it's beef, I just want a bento box. They look so goddamn good for no reason. They should not look that good. I refuse. Because all it is cooked chicken, rice, and a few other things, but I love it.
Oh, okay. So like I never heard that term before. So is that like just one of those little Chinese boxes you get?
Japanese, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, that'd be really good too, actually. That's a good shout. What's like your
Like, that shit
go-to when
would
you
be
get that?
good. What's my go-to?
Yeah, like what's your box you usually get for yourself?
Grilled chicken, rice, and just normal California rolls.
Oh,
Usually.
that sounds delicious.
My favorite sushi, if we're going for like sushi kind of thing,
Yeah.
oh, dude, dragon roll.
Oh yeah, Dragon
I
Roll's a
love
really
me
good
a
one.
dragon roll. I don't. I keeping this completely like safe and family friendly. I'd probably hurt somebody for some of that.
Oh yeah, so sushi's great. I will lie, I am a little shocked. I didn't think
Like
that'd be
dragon,
yours.
really?
Yeah,
What do you think mine would have been?
I don't know, like something like generic too. I thought maybe some burgers, maybe some pizza.
What? You think I'm a burger person?
Hey man, if it wasn't chicken wings,
Hey,
it was
no,
definitely burgers.
I make some kick-ass fucking cheeseburgers, bro. I mean, I make some kick-ass cheeseburgers.
I know
That shit causes havoc when I make them.
I know people are always shocked when
You
you don't
don't
say
need
like
ketchup for it.
Burger King or you don't say McDonald's. Like I'd rather go to one of those like restaurants that just serve the classic style.
I can't stand Burger King. Burger King just tastes gross to me. I don't know what's with it. I just don't like it.
No,
I
I
don't
feel
like.
you.
Ugh. Don't taste right to me. Now, they're the little chicken sticks, whatever they're called, the chicken fries. Those fucking things smack.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
I'll take those any day. And I recently just started going back to KFC due to
Ooh.
their famous bowl.
Which one's that?
Which, do you know what the famous bowl is?
No, I haven't heard that one.
It's so fucking good. It's so fucking delicious. I love it. So it's mashed potatoes, gravy, corn, fried chicken in it. The best shit ever.
Yeah, you're right.
It's so simple, but oh my god,
I think I see like YouTubers
so fucking
doing
good.
challenges wherever taste tests for those.
I don't. No. I will never do a challenge for a food place because I cannot do the challenges. So if you go to Arby's, right? No, Arby's, we have the meat.
Yeah, we got Arby's
I don't
too.
know if you have Arby's up there.
No, we do,
Yeah,
we do.
Okay, yeah. So they have an item on their secret menu, and I promise you, if you order it, they want to kill you and turn you into the meat because it is called Meat Mountain,
Okay.
and the consistency of Meat Mountain, the contents of it, sorry, is a pound of every single one of their meats.
Oh, that sounds pretty good though. Like I kind of want to try that.
And see, here's the thing. Every time I go to Arby's, it's either like a cheddar cheese half pound or a Meat Mountain because I can eat the whole fucking Meat Mountain in one go. I can eat a lot.
Yeah, I feel like after that Whopper
And
thing I did,
after I eat Meat Mountain, it's just
just a good time.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say after doing that Whopper thing, I definitely want to kind of try another one of those challenges. It was fun to do it.
So what you can do is go on the internet and you can search up secret menu items.
Okay.
And the deeper you dive, the more you'll find out that there's a lot of weird shit on some of these like hidden menus. I mean, there's a lot of weird shit.
I mean, mine's not really secret. We just kind of asked if they were willing to do it, but I think it was Burger King Cheyenne got them to do it, and now like anytime I go there, I can request it. But they gave me an onion ring poutine, and that was so good, so fucking
An
good.
onion ring what?
Poutine. So basically, cheese, gravy, and onion rings. It was damn delicious.
Sounds fucking good.
It was. It
Like,
really,
really
was.
fucking good.
It really was.
So, fun fact about me, I can't stand sweet onions.
Okay.
Sweet onions make me sick. To my stomach. Physically. I don't know what's with them. I just cannot handle them. They just taste gross to me.
I get that. I have a girl at work that Chris, she can't handle red onions. It grosses the crap out of her. She hates the smell of them and everything.
Like, it... I think it's the flavor and the texture. In my mind, an onion should not be sweet. Period. End of story. It just, no.
No, that's
It
true.
seems wrong.
Yeah, it's like garlic bean.
An onion is supposed to... Yeah. But I also have a fun fact section of this whole situation. Garlic is actually super toxic. Like, I mean super toxic. To the point where in the military, they used to say, put garlic on the tip of your bullets, because even if you just graze them, they will still die.
That's shocking. I always thought garlic was like good for your heart and a whole bunch of shit. Wow.
Yes, but see, if it gets into your bloodstream, like the actual like garlic itself gets into your bloodstream, the oil or anything, it can cause major health issues.
Wow.
Like to the point where it's almost dangerous.
Huh. That's shocking. Wow.
Another fun fact.
Yeah.
If any of you are wondering what my favorite flower would be, it is wolfsbane.
I've heard that one.
And the reason for it being my favorite flower is kind of fucked up. It's kind of dark. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's so for wolfsbane, right? It is super toxic to where if you finely grind it up, right, and put it in someone's tea, they will have cardiac arrest in less than, I think it's like less than a minute. I think it takes 45 seconds to 30 seconds, something like that, for it to kick in and give somebody a cardiac arrest.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
And the best part is you can grow it at home.
Like it grows all over the world, or like it's only in certain parts of the world you can get wolfbane?
So, wolfsbane is it is from Europe, from Great Britain, and in the hills and valleys, and that's where it's from. But the crazy part is that it can grow in ditches in the States. If the temperature is right and the climate is perfect, it can grow. And considering that you can damn near grow wolfsbane in hellacious weather, it's pretty damn easy to grow wolfsbane.
That's insane. Wow. In ditches. Like
I have all sorts of facts like that. I can straight up do a whole fucking stream and just ramble on about strange ass facts.
I know. I love it, Fundead. Like I feel like I always learn something new when you're on.
I try. I try to learn something new. That's why I do so much research, and that's why I enjoy doing some of the stuff I do. Simply because it's fun. It's fun to learn for me. It's
Oh,
weird, but yeah.
it's good to have someone that knows like random knowledge like that.
I'm a bookworm. Oh, I whacked my wolf and its health went down a little bit. Oopsie.
Hey, pizza.
My bad.
There we go. Hello.
Hey, buddy. We can hear you.
Is it like loud or
No, you're perfect actually.
Nah. Yeah, it's pretty good. It sounded nice.
okay? Cool. Well,
So,
what's up, people?
Did you get your new setup
since
all
you
done?
just hopped on,
What's up?
Oh, no, I said, did you get your setup done in your place?
Oh, yeah. It's good now. It's already. It's. I mean, it's fine, but I'll keep adding on to it. Maybe this weekend when I'm not so busy.
Nice. Sorry, Fundead. You go ahead, buddy.
since you have hopped on and you are joining the party, um, let me let's catch up first. So, how is your week? What shows have you watched and stuff like that?
Well, it's been busy. Like, if I could sum a whole week in a nutshell, it's work. That's been my whole thing this past few days, past week. So, that, some light gaming. No shows. I don't really do that. I mean, I'm on YouTube watching like, a lot of Let's Plays, but that's about it. Yeah, no shows sadly, but I'll watch some kind of something. I'll watch YouTube or I'll watch a stream and that's about it. But yeah, this week it's just been hectic. It's springtime, so we have all my students and the other seniors, getting ready to graduate. So, they got us pretty hunkered down over at school.
Are you still
Oh, I
watching
bet.
horror
I
ones?
bet.
Oh yeah, I do. I'm in the middle of watching this game from John Wolf. He's a horror YouTuber.
Okay.
But yeah, he's playing he's playing Cry of Fear. Well, he played it. I'm watching the old video of him playing Cry of Fear, so I'm in the middle of that little, I guess, series.
And it's John Wolf, you said?
Yeah,
Nice, I'll have to look it up.
he's one of the more, I guess, well, I mean, if you follow horror YouTube, he's one of the well-known people. I mean, maybe not like Corey level, but I mean, he's well known in the horror kind of community.
Okay. Yeah, I always want to watch different ones because sometimes you get stuck on the same YouTube channels over and over again, so it's good to switch it up.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I've been trying to kind of get myself, you know, psyched up because I do plan on doing a playthrough of these old horror games, either on YouTube or on stream. But you know, those old, like, I mean, Cry of Fear, Afraid of Monsters, and a few other games, like, they're really good horror games, but they have all the jump scares and like all those loud, scary noises. So like, I'm not feeling it. But I want to play those games because I think that they make some really good content for the channel.
Definitely.
But yeah, to answer your question though, just been busy. I have been busy.
I feel that.
Once Friday hits, I'll be good because we have next Monday off. So we got 3 days to just relax.
Yep, you have next Monday off, huh?
Yeah, it's a holiday. It's like, I guess, a school-wide holiday. So, the kids will be
I
out.
wish I had Monday off.
I feel you, same.
Yeah, that's the only good thing about next week. It's just we have that holiday. And then, after that we have, let's see, we have one, two, three. We have about 4 more weeks of school, and then we hit spring break. And, we're going to have a whole week off. So I'm really waiting for that to hit.
Spring, yeah. So, so for work, sometimes I say we, but it's actually just me usually. I take some people home, and whenever I do that, I listen to the radio, and they're like, "Spring break's coming up." I'm like, "Holy shit! It's already that time." God.
Oh
And then I
yeah.
remember whenever I had spring break, whenever I was in school, and I was like, spring break. I remember all that. That was not enjoyable.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I barely remember my high school years, especially the holidays, because like that's when I was just focused on being home and doing anything but school. So, those days were just kind of like
Right?
they were just kind of lost to time. I remember more school events than I do being at home. I guess because I had some friends at school that kind of made things memorable, but yeah, every holiday I had, I would just like go home. It would just burn through and back to business. So now that I'm able to kind of see it from a a working man's position, I think I'm gonna use that time wisely somehow.
Yeah, I was actually wondering about that. Um, like about working in the school and everything else like that. Is it is it pretty different from when you're teaching now than like whenever you were taught? Like, do you use different techniques than your teacher did or stuff like that?
I can't say that, it was like completely different. A lot of things kind of stayed the same just because it worked. It worked as a student, then it worked as a teacher, like doing small groups, doing group work, doing like little mini lectures. Like, if anything, a lot of it's the same. It's just been reduced. So now, teachers were not we're told not to lecture kids all class period. We're told to just lecture them for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and then the rest of the class is them doing work. So, it's, they definitely emphasized more of that whole students working on their own while we just kind of sit back and observe. So, you know, but yeah, I mean, like as far as like the style, like, I guess the method of teaching people is the same. The whole same routine, just different pacing.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember whenever I was in school, struggles of trying to remember and trying to learn a lot of different things, a lot of different techniques and stuff like that. And the teacher said I was in like the helped education portion of it, I guess. I had the para teacher and stuff like that. I was a special ed kid, pretty much. Um, there's just nothing wrong with that at all. They did a fantastic job. But whenever it came to lectures and stuff like that, or I do remember that every teacher had their own way of teaching. So I was just curious. I was pretty actually intrigued about that.
Oh yeah, no, I understand. I mean, and I agree. Nothing wrong with having special education because our school they like to champion that. They have a whole section of the school dedicated towards special ed kids. Really just helping them kind of get to the point where, they can be social, they can be, they can take initiative on their own. So, they like showing that off to people, which is a good thing though, I mean, being able to show that, hey, we're a school that, can help people become better people. So yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, as far as like teaching styles go, I mean, some people, they may try and like add things to it, but most of the time when people start like, adding their own style, it kind of just molds back into the same old. We're still lecturing them the same way we did before. We're still doing small groups. I mean, there might be a day where, we want to try and like have like a college lecture style, but most of the time the teachers will either forget about that or the students will kind of go back to the old way because, like you said, some people have different teaching styles, but most teachers, they want to keep it simple, they want to keep it easy, they're going to keep it the same. And so, it is what it is pretty much. So, you'll get some of those different styles, but it's not, they don't stick. They really do not stick.
Just curious.
Yeah, because
Oh, sorry, Fundead.
whenever I was, oh, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead,
I,
go
I
ahead,
was
go
just gonna
ahead.
say I'm just curious, John, because I mean you're a pretty cool guy. So I mean I could totally see you be one of those teachers that like I enjoyed having when I was in school. But do you do anything like reward system wise, or do you do anything outside the box with your classroom, or do you just stick to what you're supposed to do?
I'm gonna just stick with, what the kind of the status quo is, quote unquote status quo. I will do that. There will be days where, I kind of have to dedicate it to getting kids kind of career ready. Or maybe because, my course is about human resource in the springtime. So I'm really
Oh,
more or less getting the kids ready for the real world, the working world. So, most like maybe 7 times out of 10, I'll do a regular old small group mini lecture, let them do their own thing. And then on the days that are important, like, maybe career, like those career days and the days of kind of understanding what they might be going into the work field, we'll make it more, a lot more personal, a lot more hands-on, and kind of, incorporating real life things. So it's a mixed bag some of the time, and it really just depends on, whatever the schedule is. But yeah, most of the time though, you're gonna see me just kind of sitting back watching YouTube while the kids do group work.
okay, okay. I was curious. Yeah, nice, thanks. Sorry, Fundead, you go ahead, buddy.
I can't remember my thought.
Oh no, you're fine, man. You're good.
I'm so sorry, my dude.
No, 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 you're fine, you're fine. If I cannot remember it, it is not important. That's what I told myself. If you can't remember it, fuck it.
It'll come back to you like I don't know who told me that, being notes like someone was saying how it'll come back to you, just keep talking and then it'll pop out of nowhere.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Um. So whenever I was in school and actually like learning and the horrible portion of it, uh, like math and history and all that, I had like a few teachers that would actually help me and actually help teach me how to do certain things. Um, with like life skills for like the para and stuff like that. But I noticed that with different like teaching techniques, sometimes it can be majorly different or it can be pretty much almost the same. So it's learning how to deal with that, it was like a big change for some teachers, and then some of them just didn't care.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's really nice to hear that there's actually like it's still going back and forth between new teaching methods and the old school stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Um, I mean, we're I want to say that the teachers are kind of keeping it simple, but at least for our district, our school district, they're trying to shift away from teachers like instructing and more along the lines of teachers just kind of facilitating, kind of just, run the sidelines, and we're just kind of pointing them in the direction they should go. And, we're going to have the kids come into class and they know what to do. It's going to, like basically a student-led class where we as teachers, we just put the stuff online and we say, here's what you got to do today, and we kind of just go hands off. I mean, even my even my principal, my principal came into class one day, and she was asking me why I'm standing up and like teaching these kids, like sorry, why I'm like giving a lecture, and she was saying that even to the kids, like saying the kids should be leading the class, not you. And so, it's like, oh, okay then, I guess I'll sit back. So yeah, they
See,
definitely.
yeah, I think they started doing that kind of thing like at my old school district. Whenever I first got into like high school and stuff,
Yeah, I
like
mean,
they just put things online and then just go for it. I can't
yeah.
remember if I absolutely did.
uh, my kids, they
I
don't.
can't fucking remember.
Oh yeah, my kids, they don't seem to mind it. I mean, you know, trying to control the kids while also trying to control the computers. That at that point we're doing two different jobs, so it's like, why do all that? I mean, we're gonna have the kids who they can knock out all their work online the day of and be done with it. Then we have some who just do not know how to use a computer. Then we have some who would just not care. And, we got to deal with all those different types of students. And, it's if we had better enforcement of the rules, different story. But as it is now, our principal is too busy. Like when she gets into work, she has to go to meetings, she has to meet with parents, she has to do all this stuff. So, she really can't walk the halls. And then the APs are busy with kids trying to graduate early or trying to get caught up on classes. So, you know, pretty much everyone's hands are kind of tied. And, we kind of let the kids, we kind of give the kids that responsibility out the door, which, it's cool for some people, but others, they can't handle it yet. I've seen some kids who just cannot handle responsibility in any way and they just mess it up. But, the school wants it to be student led. They're paying me to keep it that way. So, you know, if I have to teach about something that's important, I'll do what I can to interject and make it student led, but also making sure that my point gets across so that they aren't going to be, SOL out the door.
That's really
Yeah,
different.
I think I
Wow.
remember. Is it?
Yeah, like holy shit. Sorry, just listen to you guys. And even you Fundead experiencing that. Like, fuck, I feel old, man. Like my teachers never gave us any freedom. It was always just follow the lecture and listen to that person talk for 3 hours, or whatever the hell it was. Like
Yeah, I mean,
that's so
Yeah,
different. That's so different.
I do remember stuff like that.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, there are some teachers who, I mean, the math teachers, the econ teachers, the English teachers, like the people who are doing like these core classes that, you got to take the classes to graduate. I mean, they'll give them more leeway in saying, hey, you got to give a lecture, do it. Because, I mean, once the star or like the standard testing comes around, it's gonna be the same old science, math, and like history. So, they kind of have to get those kids ready for it, which means that they have to do lectures. It'll still be student led, but the teachers have they have more control of the well sorry yeah they have more control rather than having the kids take control. So it's just the given classes, but for people like me who do career training, which is just like an elective, it really is just have the students kind of lead the class while I just kind of look back and you know keep those rules enforced, and that's really it.
I mean, even I had those classes too. Like I remember there was like I can't remember what they called it, but at the end of the year you could basically pick this huge list of hobbies like woodworking, building a kite, going mountain bike. Like there was like a whole bunch of options, right? But even those things, that fun one day that you got, there was always a lecture. There was always the teachers leading the entire thing. You were being graded on it too. It was just wow, what a difference! What a difference! But then again, I think of the kids I went to school with, and I'm kind of glad that they weren't given too much responsibility because, man, I don't know. Back then, we were kind of rebellious, I guess.
Hey, I'm sure you. I mean, we have the kids who are just the same way. Although I guess I can't say rebellious. I mean, most of them. I really, I think we have the social media kids. So, for them, it's like if they're not working, they're on their phone, they're on TikTok, or they're on Snapchat. Like so, most of the time we have those kind of people who, they don't know how to really like use their common sense. They kind of just let the internet dictate how they live their life. And unfortunately, we got a lot of people who they follow the wrong influences. And so when they come to school, we have to kind of get out their heads. So now it's like, we're pulling on teeth, and these kids don't even know who these influencers are. Like they're listening to all these rappers and like watching like all these makeup artists, like all these famous people on TikTok when they don't know anything about them and they're just following the trend because it's popular. So it's we're trying to get past that whole do everything for clout. That's kind of our main mission right now.
Okay. John, that's super cool, buddy. Like, thanks for sharing your job and a little bit of a idea of what you do today. That was a good question, Fundead.
I was just always curious. Like, I don't know what it was, but it was definitely something I was intrigued about. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, every school is different. It's just at my school, they have things a certain way, but it's it really isn't that crazy unless it's for fighting, then it is crazy. But that's kind of towards the freshmen and the sophomores. So I'll never see them. I have senior classes, so I have all the adults pretty much. So I'll never see a fight
Right.
in my area. But if I go downstairs, even for a bit, I'm gonna see people just skipping class. I'm gonna see kids running around here causing trouble. But yeah, so if you're into babysitting, you're gonna see more of that. But yeah, I didn't get paid to babysit, although I don't mind it. I would not mind getting paid a good salary just to sit there and like kind of say, don't do this, don't do that, and then keep it moving. I'd be very happy with that. I mean, of course, I'm happy doing this right now, just being able to get people out the door so they can get a job and not be on the street or like be at home doing anything else but working. So, you know, I think you know, I don't mind either one, but I prefer the kids to be productive rather than being, another number, another person on the streets or someone in a gang or, just pointless stuff.
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, but that's just kind of what I do for work in a nutshell. It's that day in and day out, but it's not too bad. I mean, if you enjoy even something educational, then working in school is not that bad. It's a lot more laid back than what the students see. 'Cause I'm sure the students look at us like we have all this stuff going on in our lives, or like we have all this stuff going on at school when you know, yeah, you maybe a few days would be like pretty busy, but most of the time though, Like we're not even doing anything. We're just kind of giving you work that we have planned from like weeks ago, and we're just doing it right now because you know the schedule said so. So yeah, it's not that difficult. It's pretty chill.
Not to keep
Yeah,
drilling you
I could do that.
not to keep drilling you, John, about your job and all that, but just out of curiosity, right? You're speaking of like everything you do for the kids. Did you have any like neat story to share? Or, like, not obviously a whole bunch. I'm sure you had many in your lifetime already. But is there any like cool stories you have to share about your kids? Like anyone that maybe came back to see you? Like I've done that before, where I've gone to see old high school teachers, and update them on my lives and hey, thanks for making so and so fun or whatever the class was that we were in. Or maybe any underdogs that ended up being, changing their life around a little bit. Just curious if you had any of those experiences.
Uh, I haven't. The main reason why is because at my old school, I knew plenty of people, but most of them though, I mean, I guess plenty of students,
Yeah.
but really though, when they graduated, a lot of them went to college. A lot of them went to college that was not near the area. So like some of them went out of state, some went out of the city, and some went to colleges near their house. And most of the kids they live like pretty far.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, and that was my old school. That was about like 3 years ago. I had left that school to go somewhere else. So I've seen a few of them. We kind of caught up. We kind of talked about what's going on in life, but like that was maybe one or two students who they barely recognized me. Same here because they got taller, they grew their hair out. I mean, they looked like a whole new person. And I only found out because someone called my last name, and they were like, that sounds familiar. So that's the only way they found out about me. Because otherwise, I would have seen them, passed them by, and be like, "Oh, that's cool," and then that's it. That's our encounter. That was our moment to meet up, and it just went by like that. So
So
yeah,
true.
that was just like one or twice. But yeah, my new school, I might have some people doing that, but I don't know. Most of my students, they want to go to college, and a lot of them want to go to a college that's not in the city. So, they're definitely wanting to branch out and do something else, which I, I always advocate for kids getting out and like seeing the world for what it is, not just staying in one city because that just sounds boring, kind of staying where you are. Just me though, but I don't think it's not as fun as I would like it to be. So, yeah, I'll tell them if you're going to want to go to college, get some money, some scholarship money, and then just find a school that's outside of the city limits. I mean, it could be even next door, but just get out and like meet new people because that's the only way you're really going to like grow as a person because I mean, Houston's big, but you're not going to find every kind of person in the city. You may find one or two, but if you go to like, let's say, if you go to what city was I at earlier? I don't know. Well, let's take my friend for example. My friend went to Ontario, and the people over there are pretty much different from people down south. The Canadians seem pretty chilled out. So, I just say go ahead and venture out and like meet new people, see new things, and then when you come back, you're gonna realize, oh man, this city sucks.
That's some solid advice. Thanks, John. Like, really, thanks for sharing your job with us. That was really neat to hear. And I mean, like, kudos to you, buddy,
Wish
because that
my teacher
is,
would have said that.
yeah, like, like, kudos to you, buddy. Like, you're definitely, that's a good role for you. You have a very calm persona to you, so I could see you being a very good teacher.
Oh, well, I appreciate it, and yeah, it's very chill. If I mean, if you guys or everyone find a job that's laid back, but also, something that's very like hands-on, very mentorship-ish, I would just say go in education because, I mean, even though I'm a teacher, I was a sub for a while, and even the pay was good. Like I was getting paid 15 plus an hour just for like being a sub. So just sitting down and like telling kids to do the work and then keeping on trouble. I got paid some pretty good money even just doing that. So, if you want to find a gig that will work for you, education's kind of the way to go.
I feel scammed.
Yeah, it's yeah. I can no, I understand. That's kind of why why I just wanted education because I like doing that. But yeah, when I found that when I found out that being sub was like easy like that, I kind of stuck with it. I was like, this job is simple. Plus, I mean, rent was low, or rent is still low. So it's like, if I wanted to go back to being a sub, I could and still pay my bills. I mean, I may not have a lot left over, but hey, bills are paid. The rent is paid. I'll just save up for my shopping trips for maybe the weekends, which I do anyway. So, it definitely, there's definitely a lot of good things that come with it.
Yeah, my teacher never said anything like, "Get out of this city. Trust me, you'll find better places than just here."
Yeah. Well,
Like none of my teachers, so that's actually really cool.
It's all good, my dad. Every single report card of mine probably said the same thing. Mindful is a disturbance to the classroom. It needs to pay more attention to his schoolwork.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah, I got that so many times. Is like, my parents finally decided to go. Okay, what's
Yeah. Oh god.
yeah. I only say that because, when I turned 18, well, yeah, I turned 18 like around the time I was kind of graduating. So, my parents say, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to go to college. But I applied for colleges outside of my state because I wanted to leave the state. I wanted to leave the city and just do something else and be on my own. And so I found the school way up in the north, well, Virginia, but still, I found a school over there. And so, I spent, about 5 years over there and I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed being on the flip side of the world or the country, so I got to experience an actual season, like, from fall to winter. I got to enjoy that. The people were pretty cool. I met a lot of new people, a lot of new girls over there. And so, I had a lot of good things came from it. And so that's why I advocate for people going out of state because you're gonna find a lot more. And you might find something in the city right now, but there's a lot more to do outside of your four walls. So I keep encouraging people to do that. If they can afford it, they have scholarships, they have work study, they have jobs for a reason. So, you guys can do it. You just have to want to do it.
No, that's solid advice, my dude. Hey Bob, saw you popped on.
There. I just want to stop by and say hi.
Aw, thank you. John was
Yeah.
just kind of giving
Yeah.
us a little more detail about what his job is and what kind of teacher he is. It was really neat. Huh.
Oh, okay.
How about you, Mom? Though, are you like me? Like, do you remember just back in the day was just straight up lectures and kids didn't really get much freedom in the classroom?
Oh, yeah, 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 for real. Yeah, you just sat there and took it in,
Yeah.
and yeah, that was it. Yeah, I only had one. I had one class my senior year. Well, I shouldn't say that because I was in yearbook. So a yearbook is different. It's definitely it's not like it's very hands-on. It's almost like a graphic arts class. So we were very open. That was the only teacher. I had two teachers that were kind of open-minded. One had been a professor at IU, and he had retired, got bored, and went back to teaching high school. And he was very open-minded. He was very cool. But a lot of his was just straight lecture too. But hers, my English teacher, she, I was an English major, so I was going to go into journalism, and so I did yearbook and newsletter, like the newspaper for the school. So I did a lot of hands-on stuff. So yeah, that's outside of that. No, you just sat there and took it.
It's so true.
Yeah. Oh God, it's miserable. College was such a relief, to be honest. Oh my God, it was so different. It was so nice. Um, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
That's a good
I
shout,
did.
actually, because yeah, like I think if I would have had that experience in high school, I probably would have been so shocked with university.
It's totally different. Yeah.
Yeah,
If you don't have some kind of like, I think if I hadn't had those two teachers, I wouldn't have been prepared at all. I would have just sat there like stone, stock still, like, what the hell
exactly.
is happening?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. My kids have had different experiences. My daughter's her classrooms are for the most part, are pretty open, pretty laid back. She's got a couple classes, has traditional where they just lecture at you, but she's got a lot of classes that she tells me what goes on in the classes. I'm like, that would never have flown back in the day.
it's so true, right?
Yeah, she's once they get their work done, and as long as she's in a lot of AP classes, so those are advanced placement classes. Not a lot. I shouldn't say a lot because I limited her. I was like, no, no, no. You are not going to kill yourself your senior year
That's
because you're going
true.
to have 4 more years of this. Don't do that to yourself. Get what you want to get done that you don't want to carry over to college with you, that you don't want to repeat of. Get those out of the way, and then have fun with everything else. So she's got two, I think, AP courses each semester. So it's not bad, but those are a lot of work, but open classroom style, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, kudos to you, Mom.
Yeah.
You got two smart little cookies there in your house.
Well, I've got one. He's very smart, but we're not going to talk about it. It's just, yeah, that's another conversation. Builds computers on the side. It's not a big deal. And I'm like, okay, whatever. All right, whatever.
Oh, it's crazy, eh? Like,
Yeah, I just do this for fun. Like, what?
I'd be terrified of
Excuse
once
me?
I took it apart, like I wouldn't be able to get it back
No,
together again.
I know. I'm like, soldering point, soldering point. Looking at the motherboard, like, don't touch anything. It's gonna break. It's gonna break. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I forget what the topic was. I know there was like two topics, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to butt into the conversation.
Yeah.
What were, I've had a long day.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
So
I'm so sorry.
I haven't actually asked Pizza yet,
Okay.
and we haven't gotten to the second topic
Mm.
yet. So no worries on there. But the topic was, and I'm asking you both, so whoever answers
No.
first wins a cookie, I guess. So the topic is, if you were able to have one food item, whatever it is, from like a TV show, anime, made for every day, what would it be?
Wait, it cut out a little bit from TV show or anime. Is that what you said? Like it has.
Like TV show, anime, video game, anything.
Oh. Hmm. It's so weird now that I'm thinking about it. I'm like, do any of my characters actually consume food? That
Yeah,
right?
I would say like a video game. I mean, like Yeah, like what Mom was saying, like most of my characters in video games, like they don't really. I mean, like they have like like on Minecraft, they have like a little that chicken bone, like I guess the stick bone is what it is. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that's cool, but like I wouldn't really eat that. That's not my thing. So
Mm-hmm.
if it's from a video game, I would say any place in GTA, which I know I'm sure that's someone saying that's cheating, but I mean it's a game and it's food that's not really like I guess real life or whatever. So yeah, I will go to I'll go to a burger shop every single time.
Mm. I mean, maybe the spicy, maybe the.
Also,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
that's not cheating.
Oh, they're good, yeah, because I don't. I mean, I was playing. I was what game was I was playing Fallout. I'm like, I'm not about to eat no
Oh,
roaches,
oh,
no red
hell no.
roaches. I'm not gonna eat no
Oh
Bro,
God, no,
yeah,
no.
eat a
no red
rad
roaches.
roach. Could you imagine?
So I'm like, I'm sure.
Probably get fucking
And
superpowers
I
from the
was so
shit.
happy. Like, when you get to plant stuff in that game, I was like, thank God. Pumpkins, let's grow some pumpkins. Let's get something down in the ground. Oof.
I mean, plus, I mean, really, like almost everything in Fallout's like, it has radiation in it. So I'm like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm getting poisons. Like, why
Mm-hmm.
bother myself? Like, why kill myself over food? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like, you can't have any canned goods. I mean, some of them might have just like a bit of radiation. I'm like, that's all. That's point one sounds deadly to me. So I'd
Mm-hmm.
rather not even touch it. So
Don't
yeah,
point anything.
Fallout. I don't care about Fallout. It may look good from the pictures, but
Mm-mm.
it's no, if you cooked a mole rat and you fried it all the way to where I can't tell what it is, and you said, "Hey, that's rat," then you kind of, you betrayed me a little bit. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no
Ugh.
Fallout for me.
Mm.
I said it's all okay. You just take that raid away and it's gone. It's all good. You can enjoy that stuff. Take two.
Right, right.
What is it? Two radiation every couple seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes,
In I think in Destiny, there is a spicy Destiny 2, or on Destiny 1 too. There's a spicy ramen hut or like a shop where there's like a picture of Cade, and you get to redeem one of his spicy ramen coupons. It's supposed to be like for free ramen. I would do that. That'd be kind of cool.
oh, like real life or like just in the game.
Just in the game. Well, I
Uh,
mean, if we're talking about real life, if I could actually have it, that'd be awesome to have.
oh,
Some Cade spicy ramen.
oh, yeah. I don't. I mean, I'm sure I mean, plus, I mean, I don't know if he's synthetic or if he's like maybe half human, half robot, but if he's pretty much all mechanic, then he can handle like those ghost pepper noodles.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do all that. I don't care about, I mean, I like spicy things, but I don't trust a robot when he's saying I like things a certain way because he can't even taste the food. He just likes how it looks.
They had that little oh, I can't think of what you call it, like to introduce the Red War. They had like this scene that rolled where he was sitting in a bar drinking what looked like, I'm pretty sure it was like oil for his body out of a shot glass. I always thought that was funny. And he's at a bar getting served the oil that he needs for the inside of his system for being robotic. I always thought that was cute.
Yeah, so like, and Hayes a really good companion, but I'm not that invested in his little personal life because I'm about to drink the oil just to be friends with him. I mean, my character in Destiny, like, he looks as human as the next man.
Mm,
So yeah.
I think I run Awoken, and my son runs he runs a robot, like not robot, whatever they call him. He runs that character.
Oh yeah, I run Awoken just because, well, I'm still new to Destiny. I just chose Awoken because, like, they seem to have a pretty good perks with them. So I was like, okay,
Mm,
too bad.
Yeah, agree. Yeah.
Maybe I'll. In fact, I should get back on Destiny and kind of, check out my character. Cause I mean, I only played like a bit of the tutorial, then I
Hmm.
went to like a little hub world, and I kind of it. So I'm gonna go back into that and like play some more.
I
Well,
feel
if you
you.
ever want to play, yeah.
I said I feel you, John. I at the game store that I was at a couple weeks ago, where I got Cyberpunk from, they had the original Destiny 1, and I thought about you,
Mhm.
Mom, and I was like, oh, maybe I should just buy this. I mean, that'd be good to go back into.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's on the store. I don't know, like the Microsoft store, and I don't know how much it is now. I have no idea, but
Uh,
I still play it. I just played it last week. I played it for a few minutes just to, excuse me, get on and kind of reminisce, you know.
I don't know what it
Mm,
is, but I always have to have a physical copy if it's a game I really like. And Destiny is one of those games where, yeah,
Mm,
I'd want to have the physical copy.
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah. I
So
don't think I paid.
I went to the game store like a while back, and I actually saw like the first Destiny, and they were selling it for like $2, and I was just like, that's $2, but do I really want to start Destiny and get sucked in? Huh? Nah, it ain't worth it. That's like a whole. Is I'd try to do literally everything, and I know it'd take me way to do.
Not bad playthrough. It depends on if you have the DLCs. It's pretty quick. That main story is not. It's not too bad.
Mm,
The DLCs, the House of Wolves, Oryx is probably one of the better DLCs that they ran between both games. It's pretty good. I'm always like, I'll always champion the Siva, the Iron Lords. Sorry, we just call it Siva, the Iron Lords. That's actually probably one of the best DLCs they ever released. Game wide, D1 and D2. It takes a minute to get through those, but it's not bad.
well, I lost track of DLC. I mean, I think the only one I remember is like Shadow Keep, and that's about it. Only
Mm,
because there's like so many, I guess, season. That's just it's too
mm,
much. Like you gotta, you know, it wouldn't be an issue if like there were free things, but it's like you have to go and like buy. You
hmm
have to keep buying. Like that's too much for a game like this. I mean, especially since I'm still like an outsider, so maybe if the loop, like if the gameplay is good enough to kind of keep me into it, then I'll buy some of it. But yeah,
hmm
I'm pretty much kind of, I don't know. I feel like I'm far behind. I don't know how much I need for the game, but yeah, I just start this year, so I'm kind of like, the game's
D2,
good,
yeah, the
so
setup for the way that they run D2 is completely different D1. D1's just a straightforward game where D2 has the seasons that you have to pay for. They changed over to like the same, seasonal type stuff that Epic was doing with Fortnite. D1's not structured that way at all. It's just a straight up video. It's just straight up video game, just like Crisis or any game. Just you can opt in to have the DLC or not. But
uh,
D2 is there's a lot there. That's a lot, and some of it's not even available to play anymore.
yeah, it's like, I'm not a fan of that kind of thing where, it's like, hey, play this game, like play
Mhm.
this DLC before it goes down. I'm like, well, I would, but I'm busy. So it's like by the time I get
Right.
the DLC, it's like, well, it's gone now. I'm like, well, then
Yeah.
guess what? I'm not gonna play the game now because I want to play that DLC, even if just like maybe a couple seconds. If I can't do it, then it's like, uh, I mean,
Yeah, it was very disappointing when they pulled terms of service on us. It was pretty disappointing.
yeah, I mean, especially, like there are some really good, like customization out, and like, like just if there was like maybe some cool helmets or like cool capes, and I
Hmm.
can't wear it now because it's bye. That's like that kind of just that ruins the experience for me because now I
Hmm.
can't look as cool as I want to because they feel like, oh well, we'll create urgency. I don't know, because
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I don't, the only game where I might feel urgency is a game like maybe Fortnite, but only because like if I bought a battle pass, that's about it. And I bought the battle pass a few times, actually getting the Doom skin, getting
Hmm.
the skateboard dudes, getting the skateboard backpack and the glider. So, like that game, I can kind of see myself like being okay, I gotta hurry up and do this. Or like
Hmm.
maybe on Apex. But other than that though, I don't know. Destiny 2 is not the game where I want to kind of just get into it. And plus it seems like a pretty big game, or it seems like a game where you kind of have to put hours into it just to kind of get to a point where you can like kind of master things. I'm like, I'm just
Yeah.
a casual. I don't have that much time to just spend on Destiny.
Hmm.
It looks fun, like, it looks very fun, but it's like I don't know how big the learning curve is.
Mm. The grind is real. The grind is real. Yeah. We we spent hours and days, and I don't know how much time I've got on it. I don't know how much time we've got on it total. We have a lot of time on it. It's been built up. I mean, we played from D1 forward, so it's been as it rolled. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And they do with this new. That's a perfect way to put it. There's this sense of urgency with each season where you feel like, oh, if I don't go in there and get this shader or get this, whatever, and kind of at this point, I think my son changes his look up quite a bit because drip is huge in that game. I mean, it is all about the drip. It's really the way that you look. Mine is pretty set. I mean, I very rarely change anything from it. But yeah, there is it's like waving a carrot almost in front of your face a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, like if people, I mean, I respect people who can grind the game that much because, you know, the game must have a lot of good content to keep people invested in it. But, I just, you know, I kind of stepped back from Destiny only because, when the Destiny 2 came out, I was like, I didn't really care about Destiny 1. Plus, the reviews, like people were saying how, to play the story, you had to pretty much buy the DLC to continue the
Mm-hmm.
story, which I guess looking back at it, it wasn't that much of an issue, but of course, I mean, the story had issues as well, so that kind of I was like, okay. But I mean, if the story was good back then, I would say, you know what though, that's not a big deal. I'll pay for the DLC and kind of get into Destiny. But yeah, a lot of things kind of like put me off from playing the first one, and then when Destiny 2 came out, I was like, so how are you guys going to like migrate, or like how are you guys going to keep the multiplayer alive? 'Cause, it's like to me, it seemed like multiplayer was a big thing with Destiny. So I'm like, how are you going to go from, you know, a multiplayer game to another multiplayer game and, kind of keep those two, like supported? And, I guess the devs never kind of clarified, hey, if you have, we're going to shut down Destiny 1 servers at some point. They never really said that. It's just kind of like, well, we're done with it. And then moved on.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of just me not knowing what's happening. So like, I'm good. I'll help on it. So yeah, when D2 released, I heard about it and then kind of radio silent. Like when it went free to play, that was like maybe about almost a year when I heard about it. I was like, oh, cool. D2 is free. I'm like, that's pretty cool. So I kind of shared it on Twitter. People was like, no, it's been free. I'm like, oh, well then, I did not know that. I was kind of, I wasn't avoiding it. I just, I'm guessing that maybe Destiny, Destiny was like one of those games where, it's like Dead by Daylight, where the game kind of went from mainstream to being it's a game where if you play the game, you're in, but if you don't play the game, you'll never hear about it.
I could see that. I just started playing Dead by Daylight, and I just really recently got into it. So yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I see, and I'm guessing, it's just like, you know, between the games that have been coming out lately, just I want to play, and then the fact that if you see those kind of games, I mean, I'm guessing it's like when you see those kind of games, and like you hear the names, like okay, Dead by Daylight, just like maybe it just doesn't stick to me as much as a game like Dying Light. But I guess in essence, every game is kind of like it goes from mainstream to being its own thing, unless you're GTA or Fortnite or yeah, like just those games where it's like you could be a hardcore chess player and hear about GTA or Fortnite and not even play the game at all, but you know the name, you know the style,
Mm,
so yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, those the games where it kind of becomes a thing of if you're gonna play the game, you're gonna have to be like this hardcore, put hours in
Yeah.
player. So
True.
yeah, that
Yeah.
and so I'm guessing when Destiny became all about the players, which I mean, of course, that's a good thing. Of course, like it becomes player driven, but like when it became pretty much only Destiny players play this game. Not really casuals. It's like it kind of fell off the radar for me.
Mm,
Because
yeah.
I guess I mean, I guess the numbers show that hey, Destiny 2 is not as big as all these other games, but the people who do play are like hardcore into it. It's
Hmm.
people, it's a big enough group to kind of fund the game. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of just disappeared. I'll still see it on Xbox a lot of times, but you know, it's kind of it's just a game where you look on a story, say, "Oh, that's free," and then you kind of just look at another free game and then kind of forget about Destiny 2 out of nowhere. It's just like it just kind of like, "Oh, what's that game with the spaceships?" And then
Mhm.
that's kind of what it devolves into.
It's
But
very community. It's almost feels like a private community at this point.
oh yeah, it
Even if you're,
really is.
yeah,
I mean,
you really want to be part of a clan, like, and actually have like be in an active clan. If you want to be part of the community, we're on the fringe. We're still in between. Like, if we get a clan invite, yeah, we'll. And I might play with some clan members off and on if I actually know them. But active clans, I was a part of an active clan for like a minute, and it was a lot. And I literally couldn't keep up with them. They were in it 24/7. There was a lot of, I felt pressure a little bit to show up and perform. And I mean, I still want to have fun playing video games, right? I use video games to get away from my regular life. So I ended up just leaving the clan, and I thank them all, but it was just like another job almost. I don't need that.
oh yeah,
I've already I've already got a job.
oh no, you're fine. And like, I have heard that, like, I heard that phrase so many times, like how was the second job, like I think, back in World of Warcraft days where people actually no, sorry, back in RuneScape days where people were just like, they were on their computers 24/7 or like they just have it left on and like have a bot like farm gold from like you guys take this game very seriously.
Mhm.
And then, of course, you went to adapt to World of Warcraft where people were just, like they had, like they had those auto clickers just clicking on enemies, just farming it just to level up.
Oh,
And, and then now you go to, games where, games like Destiny where, it's kind of like, you have these raids and you have all these arena, the whole versus
mhm,
thing where it's like at this point you can you have enough content to really run it up and like make your player better, but it's like yeah, you have to pretty much spend time on it.
mhm,
Just like how kind of like how it was with Fallout. I mean, with Fallout 76, where players were literally keeping their computers on and letting the game
mhm.
run so that their player can just collect materials while they're gone. I'm like, that's a lot. You're
Yeah,
doing a lot for this game,
yeah,
and
yeah. Agree. Yeah.
yeah, and unless you're doing like like unless you're selling these things for like real money, then it's like, I'm good. I couldn't see myself collecting a lot. I couldn't see myself collecting like I don't know dirt and selling it for just like for just you know game currency. I'd rather sell it for like even if it's just like pennies. That's that's real money for some fake dirt. I'd rather do that. But yeah, trying to just, make a, making a game my second job when there's no real, I guess there's a benefit too, but it's like, if I have to invest time to the point where it's like, man, this, it feels like a chore to do, then yeah, I would just be like, I'm good. I'm good. It's not worth it. If I had to join a clan that's more laid back and they play maybe every other Saturday, I can do that. But yeah, playing every day from like
Oh.
1 8, like, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., like that's a whole job. Does it include breaks?
And there was a Discord hook to it too, and there was even pressure to make sure that you're posting in the Discord every day. And I was like, what in the hell is happening? Like,
Oh yeah.
I
I
was,
don't get, I mean,
what? You know?
yeah, like that's
Yeah.
look, I get it. The game is fun, but
Mhm.
I have to go and like do everything else except play the game. Play the game. I don't.
Yeah, it was, and they're very nice people. I mean, I'm actually met a player there. Occasionally, we will still play together. Super, super nice guy, but um, the pressure within the actual Discord is what just turned me away. I was like, the clan had its own Discord. I was just like, oh, this is pretty organized. And I remember them posting like, if you haven't posted within so many days, we're gonna clean the Discord out. And I was just like, okay, I'm done. I'm too old for this.
Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah, that kind of thing. Like that's a
It was,
lot.
yeah,
Just kind of having to keep people in check. But it's like you know, I don't
straight
know.
commitment. Like,
Yeah, I
like I
mean,
didn't know I was in a relationship, but okay.
yeah, I mean, like I don't think people know. I think like most of the people who when they go into these kind of discords, I'm sure that I guess well, they're under the impression that hey, it's a Discord. We're just gonna be fun, have social. I mean, have fun, be social. Just kind of do quests and raids here and there. But no, it's like yeah, you have to clock in, do your. It's like they'll give you a list of things you have to do.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's not the what's the point? Like the
I
game
know,
is
I
fun if you
know.
better want to, but no, like here's your list of responsibilities. Have it checked off and like, report back to us.
Hmm. So weird. It was just, like I said, a very, very nice, but it was a bit much. I was like, oh, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that.
I understand, which is kind of why, I keep it casual.
I try
Have
to
enough
do.
time to dedicate towards one game. And if I am doing that, I'm streaming it or I'm like on YouTube doing a let's play, but I'm not doing anything else.
Yeah.
I'm not about to go that crazy.
Michael and I will get on every once in a while and run around, play Gambit, do some lighthearted stuff, maybe do some strikes, work on our builds, and then maybe we won't play for another week or so, and we've even done it for community night where you can kind of hop on and just be casual about it. You know, there's really there's really no need to go all out if you don't have, I mean, if you don't want to,
Oh, yeah,
I
no,
guess
definitely.
the,
Like, yeah, I
the
mean,
dedication.
yeah, having a community night, yeah, like that definitely helps kind of, it helps bring the games you want to play into a rotation, but it's not to the point where, oh, we got to play this with us now. Like, no, we're just playing Destiny 2 because, it's just a night we dedicate, it's a night we just say,
Hmm.
hey, tonight we'll play Destiny 2, and then next Tuesday night we're gonna play, I don't know, like
Yeah,
some
yeah,
race game. So I mean, like yeah, having it laid out, like sorry, having it more laid back will definitely help people kind of like, okay, yeah, I can kind of step back, and do
can
that.
do that. Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, I'm surprised that like they don't have a separate Discord like a channel for just like when you want to kind of clock out and like do just casual playing like like just I guess switch out from the I guess
Sweating.
the job, yeah, the job chat to the chill chat, and then just play the
Yeah.
game how you want to. Which that makes more sense. Like just have like have a channel like community night where hey, every night we just kind of chill out and we just play what we want to play on Destiny. If you want to go and run around and shoot animals, you can do that.
I meant to ask all of you how your Valentine's Day. Are you not to like take over, but I'm just curious what your thoughts are on this holiday. Do you see it as a holiday or do you see it as a farce? And do you participate at all? What do you think? Sorry, that was just random. It just ran through my head. I didn't mean to cut you off, Pizza.
Oh no, you're fine. I mean, I was kind of joking with it anyways, but
What do
uh,
you think?
I think that it's not really a holiday because like we're still working. You know,
Yeah,
I I would much rather it be a holiday where we have time off. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, like a real one.
yeah, like the whole day it's just been kids, kind of walking around giving people presents. I'm like, so like, what's the difference between having just a regular old time off holiday? Like that makes
Hmm.
more sense because at least then the kids get time to spend time with their loved ones or their
I like
girlfriend,
it.
boyfriend, whatever, and then we get
Hmm.
time to do the same thing. 'Cause, I mean, like, hey, maybe our partner is off that day
Mm.
and we're at work, so it's like, why not just make it a national holiday? What I mean, call it Valentine's Day, call it Single Awareness Day, but call it a day where hey, you get to chill out. I mean, you'll get paid for a paid day off. That would be great.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, that's just me. You
Like,
know,
make it real. Let's make it real if we're gonna do it.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, and plus, I mean, my students, I mean, they're not. Some of my students were, they were kind of desperate for having a Valentine's partner for today. I'm like, it's only one day of the whole year, and
Mm.
I can guarantee you when February 15th hits, it's back to oh, I'm single again. And
Mm.
we only lasted for a couple hours and then be done with it.
Oh no.
I'm like, it's not even that serious. I had kids coming up to me asking if I had friends who were single, if I was single. No,
Oh.
I'm not. I don't answer questions like that. I don't,
Mm-mm.
because these kids, they're, I have seniors, so they're 17 and 18. But last
Hmm.
time I checked, 17 is not a good number. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, hey, me and my friends were all above 18, so
Right.
yeah,
Right.
we're good. Find a, like talk to your classmates. But this one
Okay.
girl was saying, how, oh no, they're all ugly. I'm like.
Uh,
I mean, I couldn't say I don't think so because that might sound sus. So I
mm.
just said you'll find somebody. But I mean, yeah, they're just they want to find that perfect person. But I know
Hmm.
for a fact that once tomorrow hits, it's back to the regular old time for
Yeah.
school, and then they're back to goofing off. Like they don't even care about these Valentine's people. They just care about getting they just care about showing it off for that one day. Getting the clout,
Hmm.
getting that getting those Facebook likes. I mean Facebook or whatever you want to call it, those social
Hmm.
media likes. Yeah, make it a holiday, have the kids go home and, mess around over there. I can go home and I can play Apex all day. Like that's
There you
my Valentine's is playing Apex. So
go.
it works out. Yeah, it works out well.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, luckily we have next Monday off because I guess it is that holiday. So
Hmm.
I guess I can't be too mad about it since we do have a day to ourselves.
Be nice to have another though, isn't it? Just one more.
You know, not to poke fun or anything, but I gotta say, if I was ever gonna get like rejected, I would want pizza definitely to be the one to do it. That'd be the chillest rejection of your life. Like just like it's all good. I don't like you that way, but it's okay.
And you'd be okay with it, like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you'd be like, all right.
I wouldn't do it. That
That's
still
the
seems like
nicest
that still
letdown.
would be
Yeah.
too much. I would just say, hey, man, like, yeah, it's a bros day. We're gonna call it that. Like we'll keep it simple. It's a
Yeah.
bros day. We get to hang out, drinking beer. I'm like, like that's just as good as getting a holiday, like getting a Valentine's card. Getting a nice cold one. Like I'd rather have that than have a Valentine, like a gift card
Mm,
say, "Oh, I love you." I don't care about that. Like
oh.
I can get these cards from like Walmart, so I don't need your. Well, sorry, I mean to the other people say, to the outsiders, I don't need your Valentine's card. If you give me a nice bottle of, you know, white, not like white, Seagrams, I'll be all right.
That works.
Give me a Jack Daniels, and we're friends, or we'll make something happen. But yeah, no, I would never tell you no, Michael, because you're a cool dude. So we'll just say, let's go up, let's hit the bars, and
Aw.
we'll go and
Nice.
fuck girls while we're drunk.
And then I was gonna say too, just I know we're doing the Valentine's Day one, but before I forget, Destiny 1 versus 2. I have to say, I don't know if you agree or not, but I found like okay, now I played the game core value, like no expansions, stuff like that. But I found I was a lot more interested in Destiny 1's story than in number 2. I think I mentioned that a few times on the Discord too, Mo. But yeah, like just I don't know, bang for your buck. Like I feel like I got more from Destiny 1
Yes.
than I did, for
Yeah.
Destiny 2.
Well, and it really, God, here I go. So it really, to me, it really depends on when you played it, because rolling out of D1 uh, into D2, if you went straight from one to the other, it was not bad. Some of the game mechanics changed, not mechanics, but some of the yeah, I call it mechanics. They changed and tweaked a little bit of the game, and I think they were thinking they refined the game in D2. But the storyline, if you went from D1 straight into D2, was not bad at all. But they have cut all of that out. So when you roll through the game now, you don't have the same experience at all. They've actually, it's as a test, I rolled up a new character, and my son and I said, I wonder what this is like for new players that don't have access to the Red War now. And that was what D2 rolled with. And I'm going to tell you, it's awful. I feel so bad for new players in D2 trying to roll through that storyline. It makes absolutely no sense. It just doesn't. It's choppy. D1 still has all the original flow to it. You can go on the maps at any time and replay anything you want to play, because it's traditional DLC core game, core game with your DLCs. You didn't have to buy any seasonal passes or anything. Nothing went away. But now, with that big chunk of the game gone, it makes no sense. It was so painful. He and I just sat there watching, watching a train crash in slow motion. I was like, wait a minute. All of a sudden, there's a new character named Shaw. And where did he come from? He wasn't even part of the original story. And what's he doing on the Cosmodrome? And what's he trying to tell us? It's just, it's very bad. It's very bad as far as that.
From
Oh,
what
I'm
you're
sorry.
saying, yeah, it seems like it. And I was like, I guess like one of my other questions, well, I guess like, one of my other inner questions back then was like, so with the players from playing Destiny 1 to 2, like, does their progress carry over? Like, do they get any sort of like momentum saying, hey, you played Destiny 1, so we're going to give you this relic?
Well,
Like, that would be, I mean, at least by doing that, I can see players kind of, be having more reason to switch over, like
hmm
just, the experience is seamless. Cause, it's like, like I would hate to be level, I guess the cap was maybe 50 or 30. Like, I hate to be level 30, like maxed out level 30. And then I go to D2 and like, I don't know, but no more of that Destiny
hmm
1 stuff. If you want to read about it, you have to go and play Destiny 1, like go on the wiki and like
hmm
look at the whole story. Like that's why not just make it a cutscene, make it like an in-game item where you can kind of just while you're playing the tutorial mission or you're playing like the first mission, like you're gonna maybe get some kind of flashback, like some kind of dialogue just to kind of at least get you up to date. So
Well,
yeah,
kind of.
that
Uh,
kind of. I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh, it's okay. So when they went from D1 to D2, the perk that you got that everybody had the opportunity to do was you they were restructuring the point system and your light. They changed over to the XP system changed at first, and everybody had a fit about it, and they had to revamp it again to go back to the way it your XP accumulated in D1. So they kind of broke that a little bit and then fixed it, but then they changed your light cap and the way that your experience. So your experience can carry up almost infinitely now. Your light can change from season to season. So that point system and the way that you're graded out in the system and you're matched up with other players is different. But basically, like when they rolled D2, you went from D1, you got your original character, but you were at 0 and you had basic stuff. And you got to the whole idea was like, oh, we have all this new armor, we have these new weapons, we have a new armor system. The entire armor system changed. Um, you can have all these different pieces of armor, which you could have before, but was really difficult to piece together to have any like long lasting effect on your gameplay. And so they changed the armor system and then they added all the shaders. They had basic shaders in D1, but they have, the shaders can run a country mile now. And you can change up those shaders per piece of armor. And you can now build out each piece and customize it. And that's kind of our builds are based off of like all of our armor is built around and with our weapons. I'm like a fire, like I am a Titan that throws fire. My son is like a warlock and he has like the 3 different builds for his warlock. But what they did at the beginning of D2 is they rolled you in with the Red War Saga. And I don't know if you know this, they sunset the entire Red War Saga. Like they took that whole storyline away from D2. So you rolled in, it was fantastic. You rolled in, you played with Zavala, which you never got to do before. You played with him alongside him. You played alongside the Cade 6 unit, and you played alongside Ikora. And you ran through and fought, the Cabal, which I have nicknamed large hamsters because they look like hamsters to me, their helmets. So you got to roll through with them and fight against the Cabal at the beginning of the storyline. And then it rolled into the Red War, which was this really their best, probably their best. And then 2 years ago, I think, was it 2 years ago that they split with Activision? They split with Activision. And to be frank, I don't think they had the money for it because suddenly we didn't have access. They pulled a terms of service on everybody and sunset the planets that you had access to before, whole storylines and characters, and the entire Red War went away, which we had all paid for. So it was so there's a huge chunk of that storyline from D2 that's just completely missing that links D1 and D2 together. Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox now.
Oh no, you're fine because
Very painful.
I didn't know they had like something planned out for those people. Like I was under the impression that yeah, when you're done with D1, then it's pretty much okay. Now do all this stuff over again. And I'm like,
Kind of, kind of.
I don't feel that. So now that I know that they officially took away the support for just like yeah, see, and I couldn't. Yeah, no, there's too much going on in the game
Mm.
for me to even figure out, Plus, it's like, you know, before I became, like I saw the trailer. Well, I guess whenever with Kenny dying, I'm like, well, what? I mean, not that like I saw Kenny in the trailers. Now he's dead, so clearly I missed out a lot of content in between the two, and so it's like I don't even know if it's in the DLC, if it's in the core game. I don't know anything about it, and so it's like, yeah, I don't feel like having to buy all the DLC and then find out, oh, Kate died in like
Oh,
one
yeah.
random mission in the corner of Aslan. So, it's just,
Well,
yeah.
they sunset that entire storyline, so you can't even access anything that he was tied to anymore. It was there was a massive uproar when they did that. They basically took DLC away from us, from anybody that purchased it, sunset everything, and then said, "Oh, we're going to go to a new pay system, and you're going to pay for seasons instead."
Mm,
And so
yeah.
you can't even access. You couldn't access the DLC anyway. It's not there anymore.
Did they ever say
It's
why,
just
Bob, they took it away? Like, that's so weird. Was that the
well,
reason? Or
they kept saying, and I still think it was a money thing, absolutely. They kept saying we cannot support the servers anymore. Our servers are overloaded, and we cannot physically support the bandwidth. We don't have the bandwidth for this anymore. And I think ultimately what happened was Activision split and said, okay, this over here, all these little machines in this room, these are ours, and we're going to take those back. And you're left with the stuff you own. And just from being in light development, just very light baby software development, as soon as they said they didn't have the servers to support it, I'm like, that's a money thing. So
Yeah.
Activision pulled, they lost their money. That Activision's big money. I mean, that's huge money. Nathan Fillion fell off, so they had to kill Cade. In that last season, that wasn't even Nathan Fillion voicing that character. They had to hire the guy that did Ghost. He impersonated Nathan Fillion to do that character's voice because he had fallen off. Because I just don't think they had the money. I don't think they could support the way that Activision had supported, and then they've killed off numerous characters since then. So yeah, I just don't think they had the money to do what they wanted to do.
Yeah,
You know,
they
I
have
mean,
all the like yeah, they have all these players though who are paying for seasons. So clearly,
hmm
I mean, maybe they can't do what they did back then with Activision, but they
hmm
could at least, like maybe put it in halfway. Like I'd rather it be half done than just completely retcon and say, well, what happened back then, that was just that was a publisher making a story for us. Like I'd rather them just, roll it back and,
hmm
give us the DLC that we paid for, or
yeah,
at least, make it to the point where the people like me who are coming in can, get a feel for
hmm
the tie-in between the two.
yeah,
And then at least then, like, you have a good way to get people into the game. You have a good for legacy players to get back into the game. Like everything works out. Even if you just do the DLC for the Red War, if you do that, then you kind of already undid all the damage. Because I mean, like everything else,
hmm
I mean, I'd rather I know having the context helps a lot with me.
hmm
Also, especially in a game where Destiny, where it's pretty much story-driven multiplayer. Like I want to have a context what I'm doing and not just hop in and shoot monsters. Because apparently, from all the Discord servers, from all the Twitter lore, it seems like the game is pretty much story-based at this point.
hmm
So, if you're
yeah,
gonna have a story-based game, you need to have the context.
hmm
That's how. I mean, that's I was taught that in English class. If
hmm
you're gonna write anything, you need to have context for people to understand it. So, I
yeah,
just I
yeah.
don't know.
It's not an FPS, and I think people lost that along the way. Um, I really think they. You are preaching to the choir. Everything you're saying, I'm just sitting here nodding my head like yes, 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 yes. Um, you can't really understand why you're doing what you're doing if that entire story doesn't even exist anymore. I mean, you can read the lore. There's like all these books and chapters and things that they've put in the game, placed in the game, and people have probably spent days of their lives writing these things. And I get it, but it doesn't replace the actual playthrough of the storyline. It's just not the same. It just can't be the same.
Right. No, exactly. And, it just it's a shame that it had to come to that because I mean even though I played Destiny like maybe about an hour or so, I enjoyed what it was,
Hmm.
but it definitely to me it felt overwhelming only because I've seen the trailers for all the seasons, so I'm like, look how far ahead people are.
Hmm.
I'm at the point where it's like I have to do overtime to get to where they are. So I'm like, yeah, just I felt overwhelmed, and so that's kind of why I didn't feel like continuing on because
Hmm.
as far as the story goes, like I don't even know what's going on, and so you take away
Yeah.
text where it goes like, and I don't know, maybe there's something like maybe like just a little sentence saying, hey, you are the guy from Destiny 1, like saying something like that, but
Hmm.
yeah, no, that's just like, I have to, unfortunately, I cannot disassociate myself from what I've seen online. And so I'm
Mm.
like, back in my head, I'm thinking, man, this is pretty cool, but I have to do this, but I have to buy that. So,
Hmm. Yeah.
that's really the reason why I'm not playing it right now, because
Right.
I
Right.
like, I enjoy, like using my abilities. I enjoy like just shooting all the aliens, but yeah, I'm just, they're saying it's a story-driven game,
Hmm.
and the game right now is not giving me any kind of story to work with. It's just pretty much go here, shoot
Hmm.
people,
Yes.
and assume you know who they are and why you're doing
Yes.
it. So
Yeah. Very frustrating. Very and kind of empty. I'm hoping. I think we're all hoping. So this next season is rolling at the end of the month. This next chapter, and then they'll have like 4 associated seasons with it, and it's called the End of Us or the End, Lightfall. And I think Michael and I, we've all kind of talked about it off and on together and in separate conversation. Sony bought them, so who knows what Sony's. If they go into a D3, it might be a good time to hop back into it. But if they kill the entire thing, well, then it's over. It's just it is what it is then.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I
but
don't.
it
Yeah.
is titled. I believe it's called The End of Us or The End. I think
Yeah.
when you look at it on
I
Xbox.
only saw
Hmm?
I only saw like what they actually called it.
Yeah, it's Lightfall, but then there's a
Yeah, that's all I
okay, there's a
read.
title. Let me see if I can find it. There's a title over the front of it.
Oh.
I do agree with
Okay.
you though, John. It's kind of like a missed opportunity on their part that they didn't take your character from Destiny 1 and do like something with it in Destiny 2. Um, just like
I mean,
a little homage, I guess. Like just say like, hey, you're the guy or girl that did so and like did something and whatever. I don't know.
yeah.
I feel like there's something they could have given you just to kind of like make you stand out a little.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, like normally when, at least for me, now I haven't really played a lot of multiplayer games, but I play a lot of single player games, and normally in a sequel, there, even if it's just like a simple short story in the prologue, they're gonna say, hey, you did this stuff in the last game. Even if you're just looking at me and saying, hey, you're the guardian who you fought this giant monster and then some war happened and you died again. Like if you said that, well, maybe okay, maybe not to like that, I guess, make it that short, but like just making a story on the go that explains everything that happened in very short detail, that would be great because then now new players feel like, okay, cool, I get it, and then old players feel like, okay, cool, so they listen to what we did and they they're on the same page are. But like just having that, because most games nowadays that have sequels, like they don't really do like they don't really do the whole Metal Gear Solid. Here's a 1 hour episode where you did from Metal Gear Solid 3 to 4, but they'll tell you the bits and pieces that matter, and then they'll keep it moving. And, and the game, the game may not even have the characters from the last game, but that's okay though You know, if you just tell us what we did, that's all that matters. So, so that's, I assume that, okay, even though they didn't tell us what's going on, they may have something, like maybe an account leaking, so that way your progress carries over. Maybe they'll have mementos, maybe they'll have something, but yeah, they didn't say anything to those people. So it was like, I guess maybe you're just gonna carry over. And then of course, when mom said that the DLC for it, which again, why are you paying DLC for a bridge between the two games? That was Activision being greedy as well. That could have been a free DLC to get people invested in the game, but I digress. When they took that away, it's like, yeah, then my initial thought was, okay, well, I guess I was right then. There is no linking between the two. It's pretty much you play Destiny 1 all the way through, get max, you prestige, you do whatever, and then when D2 hits around, then, oh, guess what, man? Sorry, we can't help you. Do a whole new game. So yeah, I expected more. They gave us more, and then I don't know where they just said, "Oh well, cool, we're taking it all back." So I don't know. Maybe Sony can. I mean, I don't know. Sony makes really good single player games. They make very good narrative games. So what they could do is just, they could take what the developers had from Destiny One, the Red War, and they can make an entire sequence, an entire cutscene with full motion tracking, all the nice, like, give it that Last of Us style look to it in terms of graphics, and just, give us a whole hour story of what happened in Destiny 1, what happened up to K dying, and then yeah, you could at that point, you pretty much given everybody what they needed, and now, you know, I feel more inclined to play the game, because even though I'm behind, even though I missed all the seasons, by you giving me the context, I don't feel as lost. I feel like, hey, cool, I'm behind, but I'll catch up to some of the time. I don't know,
It looks.
just my 2 cents.
I'm kind of looking online to. I was looking online to see the name, like the reference at the end, and what they're saying now is Lightfall expansion is actually the semi-finale, and they've actually already committed to another season or another chapter. Sorry, called Destiny 2: The Final Shape. So the Final Shape will follow up, which I wasn't aware of that. The Final Shape will follow up Lightfall. But I think that's as far out as they're letting anybody know.
Well, yeah, I would tell
So
you
that would be, sorry, I'm so sorry. That would be 2024 then.
okay. I mean, you're fine. You're fine. I was just gonna say, I kind of hope that they'll give us more details. I mean, because 2024. I mean, that's not too far away. Like, I mean, even though we're in February, like it's gonna be hitting April. I mean, we're gonna be hitting spring break in a few weeks. And then, we have, we just passed up April and May like that, no big deal. And then we're going to be in June pretty soon, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, I mean, we'll be halfway done with the year in no time. So hopefully they'll give us something by then because, yeah, 2024, I mean, even, like, I don't know, this is a side thing. I hate when people, well, I hate when, like, game developers, game publishers say, hey, we have this game coming out in 2030. Okay, thank you, but like that's so, like, is it gonna come out in January? Is it gonna come out in December? Like, what's the point of you saying the year? I mean, especially, like if it's not happening this year, like then keep it under, like, don't even mention it. I mean, unless it's like, important, then in that case, say, hey, we're gonna be shooting for this. I mean, I don't know. I get why they
Mm-hmm.
do it, but it's really annoying because because
Mm-hmm.
it's annoying when the indie devs do it. Because it's like, okay, I have this game coming out in 2025. Okay, I don't care. Tell me about this when it comes out. Like, tell me about this at the end of 2024. Then I'll be hyped. Because it's like I don't think people understand that there are games coming out left and right all the time. And if your game is not pushing pre-orders or it's not like the hype, it's not hyped, then who cares about your little date, your little year? Because there could be Destiny 4 coming out in 2025. It's like your little indie game cannot beat Destiny even without Activision. You can't beat Destiny because it's become big enough to where it can stand on its own. So, but that was just my little aside for it all. But going back to what I was saying, which I forgot about. I'm sorry. I forgot what I was talking about before I went on that tangent.
We were just talking about games that carry over into their sequels. Which to back you up, John, Mass Effect 2. That one did it pretty damn well. They killed Commander Shepard at the very beginning, but it was your Commander Shepard that you carried over from the first game.
Okay. Oh, but yeah. And like that actually. Yeah. You know what? And like I know that in the Legendary Edition, I mean, they mentioned about how hey, if you play Destiny, I mean, if you play Mass Effect 1, then all your choices carry over. Like that's like even a game like the Telltale games, like how every episode carries over. Like why not have that? Because it seems like it's not difficult to do. I mean, look at like the Walking Dead Telltale games or the Ben Telltale games where when you make a decision, it carries over. And surely the people who are making you know, these short little Telltale games, like, they're not like massive AAA developers, it could be like just a little fun side project. So clearly they have the money to, do, like even if it's just a little line of text every now and then saying what happened, like just having the voice actors kind of just come in and, maybe tell you about what happened. Like, just do some exposition while you're running around and gunning people. That makes more sense. And it's cheap to do. If you want to have it easily done, give it to an NPC, hire some random hobo, make him an NPC in the game, and have him just spit out exposition from the last game. I mean, it's different, but it'll work.
Yeah, no, I agree. Telltale's is actually a good shout out too. They do a very good job of carrying over your progress. Um, sorry, Funded, you did get a chance to answer Mom's question she had earlier about Valentine's Day. I mean, you kind of said a little in the beginning of the podcast how you felt, but
I probably missed it, didn't I? I'm so sorry.
no, it's okay. We were just kind of shooting shit.
Shooting shit.
I mean, I missed it too, but I don't know when I came. I think I came in like about actually, I don't even know. Oh, what the whole teaching thing, and that was about it. So I mean, I missed the first Valentine's question.
Yeah. Do you wanna tell Mom?
I mean, Valentine's Day, to me, is not important at all. Not at all. Because originally, the celebration is about a beheading.
I'm, a lot could be said around that in Valentine's Day, but I'm not going to go there because I'm salty.
Aw, Mom.
My kid, it's a joke in the house. Sorry. 14 years single, so yeah.
Oh no, you're fine. Then welcome to the club. Then I mean, Michael has a whole girl, so I can't really include him. But you know what they say.
Was there Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I was gonna joke. Like how the singles stay rich. So
This is
Oh,
true.
that's a good. Did I say single or sober? I meant single. If I said sober, I'm I have sobriety day too, but I'm 14 years single. Yeah. And then I just celebrated. I don't share this very often. Actually, I never share this, but it's going to require me to pull a calculator out. That's how damn old I am. Oh yeah, this is it. Yeah, duh. I can't do math. So this is 25 years of sobriety for me.
Wow, way to go!
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
crap!
Yeah, that's good though, you know. I mean, I think that should always be celebrated because I'm sure that some people say, "Oh, that's cool." I went 18 years, but I thought that doesn't count though. If you're going from 0 years old to 18,
Oh yeah.
because plus, you can't even drink at 18. So like, what's the point of you even saying that? Like, that's not
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's just that's a common thing. So like you saying that you were sober for that long, that's a good thing to say. 'Cause, it's like,
yeah. Like
I don't think
hats off.
I don't
That's
think people
awesome.
understand. When you turn 21, like it's almost like you have that urge to just start doing stuff. I mean, and not even that. It's like when you're just going shopping. It's like, hey, there's that Heineken I always wanted. So I was like, yeah, I
So,
can buy it now. So then of course one turns into three, and then it piles on. So like people can become alcoholics real quick because it's cheap, and when you're drunk, it's almost like you get you're able to kind of just let go of all your feelings, all your emotions, whatever. So being sober, that's pretty cool. That's a good flex to use with people. Say, hey,
wait. Did you just say being an alcoholic is?
Wait, I think you're cutting out, Michael. What'd you say?
Am I cutting
Mhm.
out? Did you say that being an alcoholic?
well, I'd say cheap because like I don't go to like the Walmart. I go to the little corner store around the corner from me, and
Mm.
the guys who sell like that cheap alcohol, that cheap beer, the college
Mhm.
beer. Yeah, but I'm sure that it'll cost you when when you want to buy
It's
Jack
cheap.
Daniel, like buy the official Jack Daniels, the big old bottle of whiskey, like 'cause like that stuff is pretty pricey,
Yeah, I
especially
agree. Like
now,
when I was younger and
inflation.
all I did was buy like bottles, like 2 6s or 40s, like I could stretch a $200 or whatever paycheck out for the next 2 weeks. Like I always had alcohol basically. Um,
Mm.
when I was first those jobs, yeah. Like it's you're right, Funded. It's not cheap, but in the same breath you can do it. If you're wanting it, you'll figure out a way
Mhm.
to keep that rotation.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
So, um, I went to the liquor store for the first time because I just like having a drink around for like the pot, and just in case I want to go back into streaming, I have that redemption, take a shot or whatever, yada yada yada. I spent $80 on liquor.
Well, um, I think I think it might be different than what Mindful. Tell me if I'm wrong, and I'm serious. Just cut me off if I'm wrong here. When I drank, oh boy, I'm going to say this out loud. I didn't drink for the taste of it. I drank to get somewhere and to get there as quickly as possible. So I wasn't going in to buy anything that had flavor to it. Let's just put it that way. It was
Cheetos.
what would get me from A to Z as quickly as possible, and it was for my 5 cents. I was pretty broke. I was broke, college kid. Um, you could do that pretty cheap, but it does add up over time, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Mindful? Am I talking out of my ear?
No. You hit the
No,
nail on the head. That's 100% true.
Okay.
You looked
Yeah,
more for was it ever easy to swing down or had the best
Hmm.
percentage for your dollar that you're spending,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
the percentage. Yeah, we would do the percentage to the dollar. You're so right. That we would actually do that. I'm
I
like, oh,
uh
look, it's 100 proof. That's what we're getting.
I
yeah.
did I didn't
Um,
Does it taste
change I didn't
polished? Yeah.
I didn't change my path when this comment was
Mhm.
made, right? But I like now now that I don't drink right for so many years, I think back and I was like, damn man, like that guy really burned me good. But like it was a good burn. Like it was a wake up call you kind of needed to hear. But anyway, when we were talking, right, I was just saying like, oh, I talk about percentages always. So I was like, oh yeah, well mine's better because it's freaking 50% or whatever, right? And at the time, right, the guy was like, well, percentages don't matter. Like, why are you flexing? And at the time, like snot-nosed kid, right? I'm just like, well, because that does matter. Like, what's wrong with you? But it's so true now. You think back to it's like, yeah, what a stupid like concept for me to have.
Yeah.
Like, wow, why go for the thing that's gonna kill you the quickest? Like,
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's like, I guess when you're broke and chocolate looks pretty good, it's like, I mean, it might be cheaper than the Seagrams, but I mean, you'll get hammered. It may taste nasty, but you'll definitely walk around stumble. You'll wake up feeling like, oh, what happened? So I guess it gets the job done for a cheap price, but mm-mm. I wouldn't bother with that because I buy it just for the taste. Like I like having the sweet, very sweet alcohol. So I'll buy the 5 or 10%, and then I'll be okay. But yeah, like I think I will stop. Like having whiskey because at that point in time it goes from having the taste to having the buzz, and I don't care about that because the stronger the buzz, the nastier the taste.
And so, back when I sobered up, I remember I, went through a program and everything, and by myself, not imposed by anybody else. It was my own doing that I went through this program and got a sponsor and did all the things I was supposed to do. And I remember sitting in a room full of people that were considerably older than me, but I remember them saying, don't you just resent those people that can drink normally? And they say, I drink for the taste of it. And the entire room busted out laughing because, and this is hard to take in if you haven't experienced this. We were all like, damn, we're not those people. We'll never drink. My brain is wired to drink to oblivion and pass out. Not every day, but just when I do.
yeah,
So it was like either I do or I don't, right?
yeah,
So that's
100%.
just the way my brain is wired. It's broken. But I'm like, you drink for the taste of it. I'm so jealous. Like I'm legitimately jealous. I want that brain. I want your brain pizza. It would be so nice. But anyway, I'm not even really sure why I shared that, but I just did. I haven't. My sponsor died years ago, and we were very, very close, and I'm missing her. So
Oh.
anyway,
Well, I'm
yeah,
glad you did, Mom. Like, it was,
yeah.
I said, that was a hell of an accomplishment. So glad you shared it with us.
It was hard. The first 4 years were probably the hardest, to be honest, because you do the hardest work. For me, the first year was the most difficult, and then it just gets easier after that. Honestly, as long as I do the next right thing, things get better. So yeah. But I just had a moment where I was like, wait a minute, it's Valentine's Day. Even after I asked that question, I had forgot it's my sobriety day.
I was gonna say if anyone, I don't know if you think you do, but I don't know, or how can I say this? For me, it was streaming. Okay, so I think it's another tool, right? That I'm saying that you could use like streaming. We've talked about it's good for mental health, right? Good for making friends, etc., right? But also a good way to see yourself, and that's kind of like it wasn't like the final, I guess, factor. But it was definitely one of them when I listened to one of the streams I did, and I was like, man, you feel like a fucking idiot. Like, what are you doing? And yeah, I was just, I was so wasted. It was like, man, I shouldn't even have been saying the shit I was. It was good. I mean, just recording yourself, right? Just, I don't know. It's an eye opener the next day, definitely.
Yeah. No, I get that. I totally get that. Self-reflection can come in different ways. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Fundead, I'm so sorry. I don't think you made a game plan for it or anything, but you are a lovely cheesy fella, so I'm pretty sure you could think of something on the spot. We're getting like really past that 3 hour mark, so if you don't mind, buddy, do you mind giving us our closing topic of the night? So, last, I don't know, what is it, 3 streams now? Kind of told you at the end of the stream, you go around the board and just answer one of the topics. So, 1 week we did what was your childhood dream job. Then another week we were doing what was our goals. So, I understand if you need a few seconds, Fundead, but if you got one, fire it
Oh, no.
away.
No. I got one.
Oh yeah.
Since it's Valentine's Day, okay, what is your favorite flower?
Pizza has to go first.
I'll give you all an hour to think.
Like, oh no. Oh no.
I mean, my flower. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't even looked at flowers in so long because I just don't really do all that. I mean, I guess roses because I mean that's roses are red.
That's a good answer, though.
Right, of course, yeah.
That is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that Michael got flowers for Cheyenne, so
Yes, dude.
oh, there you go. Then tell us what's her favorite flower? Because I'm sure she has, certain tastes.
Oh, yeah, sure. Let's put Mindful on the spot. Just kidding. No, Cheyenne's she kind of goes a little bit all over the board. Daisies, roses. I got her an orchid one time. She really liked that one. That's probably. I know it's not really a flower, but like I don't know. When it comes to orchids, they always catch my eye. Like I love that one so much. And I love the fact that it comes back. Like it's so cool. You look after it well enough, it'll grow again.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
You know, like,
Yeah.
actually, no, I changed my mind. I want to say, like cherry blossoms are pretty cool as well.
Oh yeah, those are
Mm.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just saw online where they're adding a cherry blossom biome. Another streamer that uh, I love a lot. His name is Harvarine. He's a raccoon. He tweeted that they're going to add a cherry blossom biome to Minecraft.
Oh wow.
And yeah, when you said that, Pete, I was like, I forgot to mention that. And there's going to be, of course, cherry wood. So I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see that. It's just going to be beautiful. He posted a couple pictures on Twitter, and I was just like, oh God, that's gorgeous. It's beautiful. I kind of can't wait.
Yeah, maybe I'll actually go check it out then and see, because
Yeah.
I'm sure that I have seen some really good like just creations on Minecraft. Like I've seen people make some realistic things in Minecraft. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to see like a very nice little Japanese.
Oh, yeah.
What's like a Japanese? What's the word? It's like a gazebo. What's the word? It's like pagoda, not pagoda. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Pagoda. Yeah, they
Okay,
do.
yeah.
Yeah, and then they have like a zen. They usually have like a garden.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, would
Zen
that be
gardens.
beautiful? Oh, I bet you someone does it. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
someone who maybe like wanted someone to just make a really nice little server where it's Japanese theme and they have the cherry blossoms and they have it like some giant trees having over maybe a big old pagoda like maybe in some kind of river. I don't know, just making it very cultural will be amazing.
That would be nice. That'd be so. Yeah. And then the animals you could put in around that too. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, so I think yeah, I just like cherry blossoms because it's like it's a flower that it looks good and like just those not like urban, I mean like in the rural, in the rural area, it looks a lot better to me than like maybe having like those sunflowers, which I don't mind,
Oh
Mm.
yeah.
sunflowers and like those white flower, I don't know, the lilies, I guess. I don't
Hmm.
mind seeing those, but it's like having something that will pop out, like have a like
Yeah.
nice color to it, and like also kind of match with the greenery and like just some nice old woods, like that definitely will make it look a lot better. So that's
Yeah.
my answer. That's my final answer.
No, but
Yeah. Cherry blossoms are
There we
beautiful.
go.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is a nice image though. Like to have a field of sunflowers, like that's very relaxing too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'll just go for the sunflower seeds and just eat that while I'm kind of.
Mm,
Yeah.
those are so good. Yeah.
I remember I used to work in the garden center at one of my older jobs, and it was so much fun. Like just so much fun, like looking after everything. We even had like those little miniature trees. Those things were so cool.
Oh, little bonsais, little bonsai
Yeah,
tree.
exactly. Yeah, little
Yeah.
bonsai
Yeah.
trees. Oh, it's great.
Yeah. I fake those up sometimes in Minecraft, if I can put them in a little pot and you basically just have to make sure it doesn't grow into an actual tree, right? You kind of hope the dimensions of the block will hold it. You can kind of make it look like that.
Oh, that's so neat. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Melvin Fundo. What was your guys' flowers?
What's your flower fun?
No, no.
Hmm?
Mm-mm. I go
You go
last.
last. Oh, I see. Okay.
Put me on the
Um,
spot.
I have numerous, like I used to do a lot of gardening and I did big beds of flowers for years and then my health just wouldn't let me do it anymore. So um, I have two favorites probably. Cherry blossoms are right there. They're a hard third. Absolutely. So it would be tulips and hydrangeas. Those are my favorites. Yeah, and then probably cherry blossom being third. So yeah, tulips are probably my favorite. So yeah.
Yeah. Um, are those the purple ones or like the pinkish flowers as well? I don't know. I think that was that was called like something else.
Well, the tulip is like it's a bulb that grows underground and it has just a single stalk that comes out of the ground, and the top is just a single cup flower, and you can hybrid them to be any color. The hydrangea comes out of the ground, it's a bush, and then you can change the colors on them depending on the soil content. You can make them pink or purple or blue,
Oh,
just
I
depending
see.
on how acidic the soil is. Yeah. So we would play around with that. Like if you mix some nitrogen into the soil, mix that around, it'll change the color of the flowers.
Gotcha. Okay, so I need to
Mm.
figure out then. It's like there's a tree around the corner from me, like like it has like some not dark, but like some like just neutral purple. Well, I guess like
Hmm.
normal purple looking. Like that's it's nice color. Like, there's like someone gave me a name for that flower. I don't know what it's called. I don't know if it was too. It's like there was another word that they gave me. It was like it's like the purple flower, like that has like the yellow thing coming out of it, the yellow, I guess, pollen.
Oh, you're in a warmer zone than I am. I know what you're talking about. We can't grow those here. We
Yeah,
can, but you have to bring them inside. And I can see them and I cannot think of the name of them. I
yeah.
know what you're talking about.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're in a, yeah.
I know it's not lilac. That's something else.
Mm.
I don't know what that word was. I was like, tulip sounds familiar, but I know it's not that. It was something else, and I don't know what it is. I'm sure that yeah, like one of my coworkers, like she's very much like she's a botanist, so it was
Mm.
about
Oh,
those flowers.
wow.
Yeah, I was like, I was like, like my neighbor has, I was like, they look pretty nice, especially now in the springtime where they're kind of growing out. I mean, at least down over
Yeah.
here, we have some pretty rich. Well, we have the soil rich now because it's been raining and like kind of flooding around here. So we have a lot of rich soil to kind of grow them out. So and plus it's humid, so it kind of been
Oh,
coming out.
yeah.
I was like, this yeah, but I don't know the name. I can't find it out. And I mean, I feel like if I don't know, no, I'm not saying I don't even know what they are, but they look nice
It's
though.
okay.
I like those flowers, so
Yeah.
if I have to choose between those and like cherry blossoms, it'll be half and half.
Mm. Irises kind of have that look here, but I'm not sure how they grow in the South because when we travel south, I'm from Indiana, we'll go down into like Georgia or Alabama. Everything is 2 times the size down there. It's beautiful, it's lush. Everything has the opportunity to grow longer. I think so. It's larger. Irises, I bet, are 2 times the size down there than they are up here, and they tend to have that look to them. I know there's actual hydration of bushes, but there's also trees. So it doesn't sound like a hydration though. I can see them in my head, but I don't think we can grow them up here because they just don't live too cold.
Oh yeah, and I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, what? So like Indiana, it's like, is that like Midwest-ish?
Hmm. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I get it though. I understand why. 'Cause, I mean, I used to live over in Tennessee for a bit. It's like, well,
Mm,
I was on like let me
you're kind
see.
of on the cusp of the Midwest if you're in
Yeah,
Tennessee. Yeah, get a little bit of that weather. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah. I was pretty much going towards Arkansas. So it wasn't. I mean,
Oh, it gets
yeah,
toasty over there. It gets warm over there.
yeah. It's like it was like uh, it's weird. It was like kind of near. Like the tip of Arkansas, like, close to, so yeah, it's like, we had some good weather, but a lot of times though it was, if it was gonna be a dry season, you would know. And it got, we had days where it was just sunny and like nothing came from it. It was just dry.
Oh, I will be right back.
Oh no, you're
So
fine.
sorry.
You are fine. I mean, I know I don't want to like, have to just like dip out. No, but it's late now and I have to go to work in the morning and I have to go walk this dog and get all the stuff done before I go to bed.
No worries. Fundead, what was your favorite flower? So, to wrap it up.
Did you go?
Yeah, mine's
Okay,
orchids.
just
Sorry.
making sure. I was just making sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I've already said what my favorite flower is, but I will repeat it simply because I need to answer the question. Um, my favorite flower is
Oh, say it again.
wolfsbane.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you said.
For me, wolves, bane, like B-A-N-O-I, I mean B-A-N-E.
And what?
You saying wolves bane like B-A-N-E, like Batman Bane? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So,
what they are. That's what I was looking at. That's what I was talking about with well, I mean, that's one of those. But yeah, I've seen these before, and I, I'm not gonna lie. I thought, like when I first saw it, I thought it was like, I thought, it was like weed at first. Like, like, is that the first thing to talk about? So it was like, that's, my friend used to like, he would smoke just like this strand of weed, it was like purplish, like purple and brown. So I was like, what kind of stuff is that? He was saying it was like some kind of special case. Like, okay, that's cool. And looking at some pictures of it, it's like this one picture right here that I'm gonna send to the chat. This one it looks like what he grew back then. And I was like, what? Hang on, that can't be it. So yeah, I was like,
so
that's funny.
I uh, I highly recommend not smoking Bane unless you want a really, really bad way to go out. Because grinding it up and putting it into tea can send somebody into cardiac arrest in about 30 to 45 seconds.
That sounds
It closes the valves of the heart, and it makes the heart stop.
that sounds like that sounds like some kind of like one of those what's the like like one of those torture things they would give you like, oh, here, we're gonna inject you with wolfsbane, which I mean, that the name sounds crazy. At least if you're saying it in a nefarious way, it sounds bad. But the more I didn't know that. I mean, of course, I haven't even smoked in a long time, but you wouldn't can't be smoking the sunflowers because I'm sure it's gonna burn, it's gonna make smoke. So like why like that's just like smoking a cigarette. I don't want to do all that. So yeah, I'd rather not even bother. And plus, if that can kill
So,
you, then like, I'm good. That's a pass.
so wolfsbane, as long as you don't ingest it, like the flower itself, you're fine. But it actually gives off a sweet aroma. It's a very beautiful smelling flower. It's a very beautiful base flower. And it has different species tied to it. But everybody in that genus family is very deadly poison if you ingest it. But wolfsbane itself is such a beautiful flower. It's the perfect royal purple, I would say, because it's fantastic. It's vibrant, it's perfect in so many different ways for coloration, but as well as in height, it can grow up pretty damn tall.
Okay.
So and it doesn't grow in like these little small patches as like tulips do, naked ladies do, poppies, that kind of thing. It grows in mass because it grows like a weed, but it's a flower. It's based like in a kind of garden setting, but it can grow in ditches. It can grow in severe temperatures. It's wild. It sticks through, and it's a big trooper. That's for sure.
Oh, not well. Yeah, I mean, looking from the pictures, it looks like a very, very good looking flower. I mean, it looks like a very, like it looks like a flower. I would have it next to my door. Just like it matches the white. I mean, even though it's purple, purple goes good with white. I used to start in some cases, so it definitely has a look to it, and I could see it being like something that you just have around you. Just don't eat it. It may smell like candy, but I mean, you don't want to touch it. I mean, so you don't want to eat it. So, but yeah, I mean,
It also keeps mice away.
look at that. Then that's the perfect thing. That's the perfect reason to have it in wintertime. Keep them out in the house when it's cold.
Because for so many years of their evolution and everything in Europe, they use it for like repellent for so many things, but it's such a nice smelling flower that nobody gives a damn. It is it's very calming to smell wolfsbane. It's just in the years past, they used to use it for poison, and yet you would think that they'd make it to where you couldn't grow it at your house, like you couldn't buy the shit off of Amazon. But you can buy it if you look up on Amazon right now. Right. Just look up wolfbane seeds.
Well,
Oh.
there's a botanist that I used to buy that sells like Datura, Belladonna, um, any of those like henbane that he sells. I had to find that. I used to get a brochure from them until COVID, and I think they had to shut down, for a while. I think they sell it. Well, you can get those seeds pretty regularly. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah,
butt
you can get
in.
no, you're fine. You can get 20 seeds for $8.
Yeah, yeah. There shouldn't be anything illegal about it.
Those 20 seeds can grow so many flowers as if it was a weed, simply because they spread so easy. Because bees love them. They're the perfect garden flower if you want to bring in butterflies, bees, any sort of good insect into your little section.
What do you know
And,
what zone?
and they smell really good too.
Like what zone are those? Do you know anything about like the zoning on that? Like is it?
Europe. That's where they originate from.
I'm
But they
sorry.
can grow in Europe. They can grow. They originate from Europe.
Well, I mean, like what?
Um,
Do you know what temperate zone they're in though? Because there's, I mean, you got like
I believe it's
Mediterranean, right?
northern. I believe it's the northern portion of Europe,
Okay.
like Great Britain, like the northern portion of Great Britain, and pretty much like the colder areas. You'll find it, but it can grow in warm temperatures, cold temperatures, lukewarm temperatures. It's weird, and it has multiple different names for it. The most popular name for it is monkshood
Mm-hmm.
or wolfsbane as well.
Yeah, monkshood.
Like wolfsbane just sounds fucking cooler. Monkshood is like,
Monkshood is how it's sold at the nurseries. So I'm looking at the pictures. I don't mean to butt in, but I looked at the picture in chat, and those are beautiful flowers. Did you find the name of that pizza?
let me get a chat. Is it in the voice chat?
Yeah, like general. He posted a picture of the purple flowers,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, those. For a second I was like, those almost look like northern hollyhocks, but I'm not sure, or snapdragon. But the green underneath that flower is beautiful. Those leaves. That's what I look for. That's when I would design like my garden and everything. I'd actually look for the base of the plant first, and that's beautiful. The greenery is just gorgeous on that. But I didn't hear if there was ever a name like associated with them or not. I was telling my daughter good night.
So I actually do think that that is also part of the monkshood genus. Now that I look at it closer, simply because of the way the bell shape is and how it's clustered together and everything. It wolfsbane is weird. It comes in all different shapes and sizes. Like it's weird, but it's
Yeah,
cool at the same time. That's why I like it so much.
yeah, there can be yeah, there can be quite a few plants in one genus that you can get several varieties out of. And the hybriding of stuff has just been crazy over the last, 50 years. Science has really played around with DNA, plant DNA quite a bit. I mean, not stay out of the basement goosebumps level yet, but you never know, right?
So, all right, so it does actually have a taste, apparently, because I guess scientists are that intrigued about this kind of shit. Apparently, its initial taste is very bitter. Is very bitter, but it's followed by a burning sensation.
Mhm.
I wonder fucking why. Maybe it's because you're eating poison.
Yeah, there's a lot of those plants out there.
Well, on that note of plants and flowers, I got 4 hours here now to edit. So I'm gonna call it a night, folks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you, though, everyone, for stopping in and taking part in this. It was a lot of fun. And like I said, I know pizza, you're probably sleeping or you're getting yourself ready to go to bed. But thank you again for sharing the story about your job. Because that was really cool to hear like an inside perspective from a teacher. And you too, Mom. Thanks for sharing your
Yeah, you're
celebration
welcome.
today. That was nice to hear about
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it was total brain fart. I just remembered mid like thought, like, wait a minute, what's today? Hold on.
And
Yeah, thanks
Fundead,
for having me.
excellent job hosting, buddy. You did a great one. Woo!
Don't lie to me.
I'm not. I'm being sincere.
Loser.
Boo. Cricket noise. noises background.
Just on Pizza's End right now. That's all.
Well, I, I do have to say that it was doing the podcast tonight, like always. I am 2 glasses deep with my Calrec, which is a dairy wine kind of thing. Fucking delicious.
Sorry.
Dim, I do it for the taste because it tastes like creamsicle.
Okay. Like I said, you're weird. No, I'm sorry.
But they have like chocolate covered cherry
Okay.
and another one, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
no. I'd rather have something that tastes like oranges than something that tastes like ass.
Mm.
I hate chocolate. So I'm super happy that I didn't get chocolates for Valentine's Day. I fucking despise chocolate. It's gross to me. But Mindful, do you have a sweet message or?
Sure, bud. Just thank you guys so much for, like I said, coming in every single week and doing this. It's fun. I think it's
Yeah.
found its own little elements. Like I said before, it started off with just like Fundead and me and doing just one guest, but I kind of like this. I like having the whole basement gaming crew. Just kind of talking. So some weeks, you got the same regular. Some weeks, it's a nice rotation. So yeah, just seriously. Like I said, we do these for quite a while now. Most of the minimum ones are 2 hours long. Some of them are, 4 hours. And just I appreciate so much that you take the time to even sit down here and chat with us. Like that's really fantastic. And for those that listen, thank you too. Like wow, I I used to think the hour long podcasts were the way to go, but I mean even me too. There's some I listen to that are like 2 or 3 hours long. So I understand the dedication it takes, when you're listening to these. So thank you for just taking time to listen to us every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have to say thank you for that too. Simply because I go in to see how many views the video has, and every time I look at it, mind fucking blown.
I know.
Simply because it's just like a bunch of different people rambling on about weird shit that they like.
I always get excited when I look at the Spotify one. That one always excites me. I'm like, oh yeah, play.
Yeah, I actually meant to ask you about that. What is what is the most popular video, or I guess podcast episode that we have?
I can tell you that.
Like what was the highest? Like what was the highest views you've seen so far?
Okay, I know it was 5, but here I'll take a peek. It kind of shocked me. Yeah, so we have 13 plays as of now. And your most popular episode with me was Games We Hated at First, but Ended Up Loving. Woo! That was a good topic,
Yeah,
actually.
boy. That was a really good fucking topic. I do believe that you came up with that topic.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Right, yeah.
I
did
think it was you.
Nice.
See who's the smarter one here?
It's a dual effort, my friend. But yeah, I hope you guys.
I'm just really feeling.
I hope you guys have a lovely evening, and if you haven't yet, hope you have a good supper. But yeah, thank you guys for stopping by.
Go eat, Mindful.
Yeah, go have dinner.
Goodbye, everybody.
We'll see ya. Bye.